All heavens sign in from Naruto, Chapter 161-180. Chapter 161 Samui_. Samui meaningfully and said. Think about it, we originally came out just to play in the mountains and waters. Haven't even thought about fighting them or moving their transporter. But they shot at us without asking Qing Yuhi, and injured you. How could I not take revenge? After listening to Yi Feng's explanation, Anko looked at Yi Feng with strange eyes and asked, then, how are you going to take revenge? In this world, the number of female ninjas is not small. But generally speaking, if the female ninja is captured, it will not end well. After all, female ninjas, especially pretty female ninjas. So, Night Wind. Could it be that he was going to take her for meat? But then again, this Samui. It's really big there. It is estimated that a man can't stop her blessing. Say more. Yi Feng shook his head. This demonic illusion I am using now is not particularly pure. I can just use her to practice my skills and improve the level of demonic illusion. In the future, I can also enhance my demonic illusion resistance. After Yi Feng finished speaking, he fell into a deep thought. The future he will still have to face Otsutsuki's infinite Tsukuyomi. That was Otsutsuki's ultimate move. Although Yekaz is now able to fight against Uchiha Itachi's normal Tsukuyomi. But the ghost knows whether he will be caught by the divine tree in the future. So, take every opportunity to practice demonic illusion hard. It is very necessary to increase demonic illusion resistance. But Anko looked at Samui's figure and looked at Yi Feng's eyes. She always feels. The purpose of this kid is definitely not so simple. Damn. ... Along the way. With Byakugan. As soon as he finds a ninja in the distance, he takes Anko and Samui to another path. So, they were relatively safe along the way. That's it. Samui and Anko, who had changed their clothes, held Yi Feng in one arm, kissed me and returned to the border of the land of fire smoothly. After returning to the camp, settled Samui first, then brought Anko to the central tent and told Hyuga Hiyashi the result of this mission. Okay, that's it, Samui, I will personally explore the intelligence in her spirit, and use her as a tool for me to train Yamanaka's secret art. Yi Feng said slowly. Okay, Ye Feng, you have done a lot of credit for destroying the material transport team in Kumogakure village this time. I will definitely show my credit to Hokage-sama. Hyuga Hiyashi laughed. Hyuga Hiyashi is happy. Night Wind destroyed the supply convoy in Kumogakure village, which bought them a lot of time to prepare for the battle. As long as they wait for reinforcements from Konoha village to arrive, they are not at all false Kumogakure. As for a loot, that was originally the Night Wind. Hyuga Hiyashi won't meddle either. Young people, there are always many ideas. To like to train demonic illusion with live humans. Just be happy. But Kasahara Shinichi, who was beside him, couldn't help but squinted. He didn't say anything though. But he was very surprised. This Yamanaka Night Wind actually completed the task. Destroyed the transport team of Kumogakure village. Does Yamanaka Yefeng really have the strength to defeat Killer Bee Jinchuriki column force? How is this possible? But if he doesn't repel Killer Bee Jinchuriki column force, how could he possibly take the disciples of Killer Bee Jinchuriki column force back as hostages? This is how it happened. Can't figure it out at all. ... Yi Feng returned to his tent. As soon as you enter. Samui stood up immediately. She put the slippers Yi Feng wore in the room to the door, helped Yi Feng take off her shoes, and put on comfortable and soft slippers, just like a caring and virtuous wife. You're back. Although Samui's expression was still cold, her movements were very enthusiastic and her voice was soft. Is there tea? Yi Feng asked. Yes, I have already boiled the water, I will make it now. Samui responded, turning around to make tea for Yifeng. Yifeng looked at the back of Samui making tea. He nodded thoughtfully. Mental control is much better than I imagined. Used this demonic illusion to control Kazuhana Koyuki before. But the process was not particularly smooth. No matter how the night wind pays attention, he always has some nuances that he can't handle well. Once this happens, he will be resisted by the will of Kazuhana Koyuki. But don't look at Samui as Jonin controlled her. It felt much easier than Kazuhana Koyuki. As long as Yifeng has set the characters, environment, and plot for Samui, Samui will soon be able to accept the role that Yifeng has assigned her. Everything went so smoothly. Perhaps. Is this because Samui's true temperament is not as cold as she appears? She has been amazed at her true temperament. But think about it. A girl with such looks. There must be all kinds of boys around. If she hadn't acted coldly, there will indeed be a lot of trouble. But if you pretend for too long, your nature will be suppressed. And now, what Yifeng was doing was just releasing her nature. The tea is ready, please drink tea. Samui carefully handed the teacup to Yifeng. The expression is single, but his eyes were full of anticipation. It's the kind of little women who look forward to complimenting their men. Well, the tea is well brewed, very fragrant, just like the smell on your body. Yifeng smiled, stroked Samui's hair, and complimented him insincerely. Samui smells really good. But her quality of tea is very poor. The water temperature is too hot. There is also a little too much tea. The taste is not so good. But after Samui heard Yifeng's praise, a yuhi cloud appeared on his cheek. Yifeng looked at her with interest. Samui's yuhi cloud is different from Hinata. Hinata is still too young. Still can't fully reflect the charm of that kind of female ninja. But Samui is different. Not only the face is yuhi, the neck is yuhi, the whole body seems to be yuhi. She was like a ripe apple waiting to be stepped on. Yifeng looked at Samui, who had become like this. Suddenly there was a warm current in the body. If not this time Enko comes, Yifeng probably couldn't help but do something to Samui. But Yifeng felt that he still had to control himself. After all, he was still a child. But look at the state of Samui now. She also seemed eager for something indescribable to happen. Is this the passion hidden in the heart of the iceberg beauty? It really makes people want to uncover her mysterious veil. Chapter 162 _ My ninja sword is righteousness. Hey, Yifeng, what the hell are you two doing? Enko looked at Yifeng with a weird look on his face. Then looked at Samui again. Enko always felt that the two of them were not quite right now. But she doesn't have much experience and doesn't know much. Oh, nothing, but just trying to develop a new direction for demonic illusion. Yifeng lightly changed the subject and asked casually, by the way, are you looking for me for something? Well, 2 special envoys from Kumogakure village have just arrived. It may be related to this woman. Senior Hyuga asked me to come to you to discuss matters. Enko said. Oh, let's go then, Yifeng said. Under Samui's service, Yifeng put on his ninja boots again and pinned Onito behind his waist. Then Yifeng glanced at Samui, carried her to the resting place, and used demonic illusion to make her fall asleep. Well, some things. Although not yet. But let her get acquainted with it in a dream first. It's also good to add some experience. ... The two returned to the central tent again. The atmosphere here is obviously a little weird. Yifeng, who came to Kumogakure village this time, did not know him. But this so-called envoy arrogance seems to be very arrogant. Perhaps. Are they used to the weak purpose of the 3 generations, and have not realized until now that Konoha village has changed? Humph, are you Yamanaka Yifeng? A Kumogakure messenger asked Yifeng with cold eyes. Yes, I am. Yifeng walked to a chair very indifferently. Sat down. Take an apple out of the bag and start peeling it with a ghost. Yamanaka Yifeng, hand over our village's John and Samui. Then you have to go back to Kumogakure village with us and apologize to Lord Killer Bee. The Kumogakure messenger said arrogantly. He doesn't understand the rotten stock that my knife can cut fruit at all. So. He is not false at all. Hee, are you crazy? Yifeng finished peeling the apple and bit into it, the juice overflowing. This is the camp of my Konoha village. You are yelling at me here, you are not Shilezi. This moment. Nightwind is really feeling very funny. He really didn't understand where the confidence of Kumogakure village came from. How dare you talk to him like that? It's like. It was clearly the ninja from Kumogakure village who failed to snatch Hinata and was killed by Hyuga Hiyashi, but Kumogakure village wanted Hyuga Hiyashi to apologize for his death. Where does this come from? 3 generations of Hokage gave you. What a failure. HMPH, Hyuga Hiyashi, is this the attitude of your Konoha village? The position of Kumogakure village is consistent. If you don't do what we just said, Kumogakure will declare war on Konoha. The Kumogakure envoy made a firm threat. Now. Hyuga Hiyashi looked gloomy. He was about to reprimand the Kumogakure messenger. But this time. Kasahara Shinichi stood up first. He looked at Hyuga Hiyashi and said lightly. Hiyashi, Konoha village has just stabilized, and now we can't bear the pain of war. Therefore, for the future of Konoha village, and for the peace of Konoha village, I suggest following the advice of the Kumogakure special envoy. Kasahara Shinichi's voice fell. Anko stood up immediately and shouted in a deep voice. Old thing, what did you say? You dare to say it again. Anko and Yekas have just returned from a mission behind the Kumogakure border force. Haven't had time to celebrate yet. This old thing actually wants to hand Yifeng to Kumogakure village for disposal. Tolerable or unbearable? Anko Jonin. It doesn't matter how many times I say the same thing, old man. I don't want to see such a thing happen to a ninja like Yifeng. But. The old man's suggestion is for the safety of the village, for the righteousness of the village, and I hope you can understand the old man. Heard here. Yifeng sneered. Jonin's standing behind Kasahara Shinichi, and said lightly. What about you, do you also think Kasahara Shinichi's request is reasonable? Those Jonins were originally from the Kasahara Shinichi faction. Although Yifeng's eyes made them feel the chills in their hearts. But they still nodded decisively. Kasahara-sama is also doing justice after all. At this time. Yifeng suddenly let out a wild laughter. He finally knew why the 3rd generation of Hokage was so cowardly. It is because of the existence of these guys that they always like to stand on the moral high ground and sway other people's thoughts. Then. Nightwind got up. He looked at Kasahara Shinichi sarcastically. Take a few steps towards him. He threw the apple in his hand to the ground. Righteousness. What a grand-sounding word. Once upon a time. You can force Hyuga Hazashi to die for the so-called righteousness. Today. For the sake of righteousness, you want to send me Yamanaka Yifeng to Kumogakure to die. I'm sorry. On the subject. You may need to ask the ninja sword in my hand first. Swish. A jet-black knife light passed by. Kasahara Shinichi frowned, pointed at Yifeng and said, Yamanaka Yifeng, you are still too young after all. You haven't been through war at all, you don't know anything. What this old man does is the real righteousness. What Kasahara Shinichi said was truly righteous. At first glance, he is very good at this style of speech. But. After Kasahara Shinichi said the last word. At his neck. Suddenly a Yuhi line split. Puff. Hot blood gushed out along his neck. Heads fall. The corpse fell to the ground. The big tent suddenly became silent. Look. In my 3 views, my ninja sword is the righteousness. If anyone is not satisfied, they can stand up and try. Yifeng said it lightly, and did not take Kasahara Shinichi's death to heart at all. Anyway, that's his principle. If anyone disagrees, then come out hard steel. Yi Feng's voice fell. The Kumogakure envoy's legs began to tremble, but he still pointed at Yi Feng with a firm attitude and said sternly, Yamanaka Yefeng, what do you mean? Aren't you afraid of a war between the two villages? Hyugahiyashi, is this the attitude of your Konoha village? Hear the inquiry of the Kumogakure envoy. Yi Feng's mouth suddenly grinned. With a murderous smile, he pointed the bloody ninja sword at the messenger of Kumogakure village. It's the rule that the two villages don't fight without slashing. But in the eyes of Yamanaka Yefeng, my ninja sword is the rule. Swish. Another jet black sword light. Seeing this, the Kumogakure envoy quickly touched the sides of his neck with his hands. No stab wounds were found. Then, he smiled knowingly. In the end, this kid still dare not kill me. After all, I am the envoy of Kumogakure village. Then, a strange bloodline appeared from the center of Kumogakure's forehead. Chapter 163 A matter of course. After the bloodline appeared, it crossed the nose, mouth, Adam's apple of the Kumogakure envoy. Down the collar again. Stretch all the way. Click. The weird smiling face has not yet been put away, and the smile is divided into two along the middle. The scene is very weird. Boom. Two corpses fell to the ground. No one in the tent dared to make a sound. After half an hour, Hyuga let out a long sigh. Once upon a time, his daughter, Hyuga Hiyashi personally killed the villains in Kumogakure village. But, just for that so-called righteousness, those who stand on the moral high ground, his cousin Hyuga Hazashi is forced to die for him. Today, the knight is more risky and will suffer from this bad luck. Good luck. This boy is not like us. He knows how to fight. Know how to resist. He showed the people of Kumogakure village what the blood of a Konoha man is. Yefeng, you did the right thing. In this matter, I, Hyuga Hiyashi, will stand behind you. Hyuga Hiyashi's eyes were bright. The patriarch is right. Our Hyuga clan will support you behind your back. The elites of the Hyuga clan said in unison. Now, the big tent is full of civil war. The ninjas of Hyuga Hiyashi's faction made the sound of this ups and downs of man's blood. It's been long enough for everyone to be patient. Everyone is ninja. Not the teenage mutant ninja turtles. Why should you give up Kumogakure village everywhere? Obviously Konoha village is the largest village in the ninja world. Why let you? Now. Yi Feng's heart was also full of fighting spirit. He pointed the black knife in his hand in the direction of the Kingdom of Thunder, looked at another Kumogakure envoy with a bad look, and said coldly. I didn't kill you so that you could go back and tell your fourth raikage. Kumogakure is going to fight. Konoha will fight. If Kumogakure doesn't fight, let your people get the hell out of me. Envoy Kumogakure glanced at the two corpses on the ground. Swallowed. Not that. Has the darkness of the ninja world in Konoha village already said hello? How did the scene become like this? Konoha. This is going to change. ... When Yi Feng returned to his tent, his body was also stained with blood from Shinichi Kasahara. His behavior just now seemed very impulsive. But this made Yi Feng feel very refreshed in his heart. For the guy who likes to stand on the moral high ground and wield the moral stick, there is nothing more bloody than slashing him with a knife. The night wind lit the candles in the tent. The faint light reflected on Samui's pretty face. Samui has also woken up. All her clothes were soaked with sweat. The originally slender clothes were tightly attached to her body, which outlined her arrogant figure at a glance. At this time, she was still lying there, panting heavily, looking at Yi Feng with shy cheeks. In sight, mixed with a very special yuang. Obviously, unreal scenes in dreams couldn't satisfy her. She couldn't wait for Yi Feng to make a move. Hey. Nightwing sighed. She saw something subtle and special happening on Samui's body. There is also a warm current rising in the body. Then, two figures with bloody blood finally hugged. One after another. This night. Very long. Maybe it's because it's been suppressed for too long. This moment. They finally all burst out. ... 2 days later. The reinforcements from Konoha village finally arrived. But the village of Kumogakure did not choose to withdraw. A skirmish broke out between the two villages at the border of the Land of Fire and the Land of Yuno. In this war, shadow clone greatly increased the fighting strength of Konoha village and completely overwhelmed the Kumogakure frontier force. Finally, the village of Kumogakure is under the pressure of the daimyo of the Land of Thunder. Finally withdrew. After all, Konoha is not the Konoha it used to be. Hokage with a resolute acting style, but they also had a lunatic with the name of the god of killing. Of course. As a condition of withdrawal, Yifeng returns Samui to Kumogakure village. Separately, Samui had left Yifeng's demonic illusion. She walked silently towards Kumogakure's camp, suddenly stopped in the middle, turned her head to look at Yifeng with cold eyes. That look. Very complicated. Although those things that happened these days all happened under the demonic illusion of Yifeng. But what happened is what happened. This memory is for Samui. Real. She remembered that scene clearly. Every feeling, every impulse, every release. For Samui, this should have been a very difficult thing to accept. But she left so indifferently. Yifeng didn't know her true thoughts either. The iceberg woman has regained the temperature of the iceberg. This is really a pity. ... After the border has stabilized. Took Anko back to Konoha village. The village of Konoha remains as peaceful as it was before they left. Such peace. It was the men at the frontier who exchanged blood for it. Yifeng, you have done a lot of credit this time, and the bounty is probably not small. You must treat me to a big meal when you go back. Anko said with a smile. Well, as long as you're not afraid of becoming a big fat guy like the Akamichi family, I can treat you to a big meal anytime. Yifeng shrugged. He has never been able to accept the setting that Anko has become a fertile circle in Boran biography. So, he'll give Anko a kick every now and then. Remind her not to become a big fat man. ... Hokage office. After Tsunade listened to Anko's mission report, a satisfied smile appeared on his face. Although Yifeng killed a Kasahara Shinichi. But it was just him seeking death. No wonder others. Tsunade felt that Yifeng killed him well. Nice job. Yifeng, Hiyashi has sent someone to bring back the battle report from the front. You have done a lot to defeat Kumogakure in this battle. What kind of reward do you want? Tsunade looked at Yifeng with a smile. This kid. It certainly didn't disappoint her. Reward. Then reward me for not having to do tasks for half a year. Yifeng blurted out without thinking. Isn't it bad to lie in the village and make salted fish every day? Why work so hard? We are not bad for money. HMPH, that won't work. Do you know how popular you are now? The mission must be done. Tsunade glanced at Yifeng. Want to make salted fish? There are no doors. You are the cash cow of the village. Then, or else, you take Ino and Hinata and let them be your disciples. Yifeng thought about it, and then made a suggestion. To be honest, Yifeng's way is not suitable for Ino and Hinata. So, it is still necessary to find a reliable teacher for them. Chapter 164 I can kill people. Do you have the guts to take revenge? Huh. Tsunade's expression froze slightly. She didn't expect Yifeng to suddenly make such a request. Well, yes, the two of them are already excellent, and becoming my disciples is more than enough. Tsunade agreed without thinking. After all, Tsunade even accepts girls like Sakura, will he still reject Yamanaka Ino and Hyuga Hinata? To know. Behind these two people represent the Yamanaka clan and the Hyuga clan of Konoha village. Tsunade took them as disciples. That would be tantamount to tying the two clans together firmly with Hokage. This is definitely a win-win option. Okay, since you agreed, there's nothing else to do, right? Let's go first, Yifeng asked. Okay, let's go back and have a rest first. In the afternoon, I will notify the senior management of the village and Jonin, who is currently staying in the village, to hold a celebration party for you. Tsunade said. This battle. The village of Konoha was able to crush Kumogakure on the frontier. Hyuga Hiyashi explained it deliberately. Yifeng and the two made a huge contribution. If they hadn't destroyed the supply convoy in Kumogakure, they wouldn't have waited for reinforcements from Konoha to fight his way through the battlefield with multiple shadow clones. Konoha village is bound to lose a large number of ninjas. So, celebrations are a must. And Anko left the Hokage building. The two went straight to the restaurant. Indulge. Of course. Yifeng was only interested in wine. The meal was eaten until 2:30 in the afternoon. The celebration finally began. Tsunade first gave a thank you speech. Then, Anko and Yifeng also spoke politely on stage. Of course. Although the two of them contributed a lot, they were still very low-key when speaking. First of all, thank the village, thank the leaders, and thank the brothers and sisters who fought together. Thank you all for coming to celebrate with us. Barbara. That's probably what it is. Then. Next. The atmosphere of the whole celebration was very good. Full of positive energy. After the three old guys came over, the atmosphere began to become awkward again. Yamanaka Yifeng, you are so brave. Don't look at Shimura Danzo as no longer an elder. But on the team of these three old guys. The remaining two are still led by Danzo. I've always been very courageous, do you want to try it? Yifeng glanced at the three of them disdainfully, not polite at all. Saw Danzo's expression. I knew he must be here to do something. So. Yifeng will definitely not leave them any face. Yamanaka Yifeng, don't think that Hyuga Hiyashi praised you a few words in the battle report, you can be arrogant. You killed Shinichi Kasahara, the deputy commander of the frontier forces. The crimes you committed this time are indescribable. Homura Mitokado pointed at Yifeng's nose arrogantly and cursed. He has been waiting for this day for a long time. He finally waited for the real hammer that could destroy Yifeng. Kill Kasahara Shinichi in public. Ha ha. He is the deputy commander of the border troops, okay. Did you say kill it? Are there any rules? However. Yifeng ignored him at all, it was Yifeng's black knife who did. Swish. The jet black knife light pierced through the air. A flash of blood appeared. The finger that Homura Mitokado used to point to Yifeng was cut off by Yifeng and fell into the garbage. Old man, I warned you last time, but you still dare to point your finger at me. I almost thought my big knife wasn't sharp enough. Yifeng said lightly. To be frank. Yifeng doesn't care about the three of them now. After having the Dantian seal. Yifeng's chakra can continue to accumulate in Dantian. That quality and quantity are not comparable to yin seals at all. To be honest. Just give the night wind enough time. He can gather in his Dantian a chakra volume comparable to that of a human Jinchuriki column. Of course. This kind of uncontrolled practice definitely requires a lot of supplements. Fortunately, Yifeng's family is not short of money. So. In the eyes of the night wind. These three old guys are almost like ants. If it wasn't for the village's sake, he might have killed Homura Mitokado directly. You, Yamanaka Yekas, you. Kaharu Udatane hurriedly pulled Homura Mitokado's severed finger out of the trash. There's also some unspeakable slime on it. Don't know what the hell it is. Then, Kaharu Udatane helped Homura Mitokado put powder on her severed finger. Then, she wanted to point at Yi Feng's nose and curse a few words. But he was afraid of getting the same fate as Homura Mitokado. Then, she had no choice but to put that finger in her pocket. Me, what's wrong with me? Let me remind you again, if there is another time, it will not be as simple as a finger. If you don't believe it, you can try it. Yi Feng held the ninja knife on his shoulders. He looked at them coldly. This moment, all the ninjas in the room looked at each other. Even Yamanaka Inoichi thought of it. Is his son so young? But, really relieved. Tsunade, Yamanaka Yeka's beheading the commander at the border is a fact. He's actually attacking the elders in the village again. Don't you know how to take care of such a scumbag? Shimura Danzo angrily jabbed the stick in his hand towards the ground. This moment, he is really angry. Kasahara Shinichi is Danzo's old friend. He has done a lot of great things for Danzo. Until the last few years. In order to give Kasahara Shinichi a rest, Shimura Danzo used his connections to make him a commander at the border. Who ever thought? He was actually killed by Yi Feng. And now, dare he attack the elders of Konoha village? The next step. Did he dare to stab the old man? She can endure. Uncle, he can't bear it. Hee, Shimura Danzo, it's a pity. If Hokage 3 was still alive, he might still say something to you. Like he might say, Homura Mitokado is your senior who has worked hard for Konoha village all his life. Even if you are a little wronged, you can't be so irritable. Everything must proceed from the overall situation, and we must know how to be patient and humble. But it's a pity. Today's Hokage is 5 generations. She won't let what happened to Hyuga Hazashi happen to me again. I have this confidence in her. I also have confidence in my knife. After Yi Feng said these few words, he held the ninja sword in his arms again. Shimura Danzo coldly. Indeed. What he did today was too much. But his excessiveness made the Konoha ninjas who had been suppressed for a long time feel very happy. Chapter 165 _ Deep Fried Danzo. When the 3rd generation was in power, he allowed the village of Kumogakure to force Hyuga Hazashi to death on trumped-up charges. This incident is one of several major shames in the village of Konoha. In fact, except for the Hyuga Hazashi thing, these years, similar things have happened many, many times. Although many people are reluctant. But they finally persevered. Because that's why he has been nurtured by the concept of 3 generations of purpose since he was very young. For justice. For the village. For the will of fire. For these illusory things, it seems that everyone can sacrifice everything. In fact, it seems to the night wind. This idea itself cannot be said to be completely wrong. But, if you want to implement such a concept, you need a very good leader to guide it. If not, what exactly is righteousness? What is the will of fire? Most of the time, everyone was already confused. But, although everyone was very depressed, but no one stood up to resist. Until this moment, Yamanaka Yeka's finally stood up. It also means that a new era for Konoha village has finally arrived. Danzo, about Kasahara Shinichi, Hiyashi has already reported to me, Kasahara Shinichi has done a bit too much. And Hiyashi also found evidence that Kasahara Shinichi had contacts with Kumogakure village at the Konoha border over the years. Tsunade's eyes burned. Danzo, they like to play tricks, like to be the shit stick of Konoha village. These Tsunades are all tolerable. After all, they also contributed to the village. But, how dare they collude with other villages behind the scenes for profit? This is something Tsunade absolutely cannot forgive. So, night wind kills well. After Tsunade's statement, the atmosphere of the celebration party was also extremely cold. HMPH, you didn't say that you found evidence until after the person died. This old man really feels worthless for Kasahara Shinichi's life. Shimura Danzo snorted coldly. Of course Shimura Danzo knew that Kasahara Shinichi and Kumogakure village had interests in the border, because he is the apex of that chain of interests. But Kasahara Shinichi has always been very careful. Danzo didn't believe Tsunade and the others would have solid evidence. Oh. Not worth it. It's just your stuff. Is it worth saying that it's not worth it? At this time. Sneered and quarreled with Danzo. Isn't the old man worthy? Who else deserves it? Danzo sneered again and again. Old man has devoted himself to the prosperity of Konoha and paid countless efforts. If Hokage is the Konoha in the sun, the old man is the root in the shadow. Is this something that a yellow-mouthed child can understand? Good. Since you ask that, then we simply open up and talk about it. Sneered, looked at Danzo and said. Senior White Fang once gave up his mission in order to save Shinichi Kasahara's life, which caused him to be notorious. But that's really nothing. Who knows, Kasahara Shinichi is not only ungrateful, but also behind the scenes, and insults Senior White Fang along with the public opinion. In the end, Senior White Fang died of grief and indignation. So, in my opinion, ninja like Senior White Fang deserves nothing. Yifeng finished his words word by word. At the same time, he glanced at Hitaki Kakashi who was silent beside him. Danzo forced Konoha White Fang to death by creating public opinion. Although this matter has not been reversed. But everyone knows the trick. Especially now that Kakashi has grown into an old fox. How could he not know who was behind it? Humph. Hitaki Tsukumo neglected his mission, and even the people he rescued did not approve of his actions. In the eyes of the old man, this is nothing to say at all. Shimura Danzo said coldly. In your opinion. Don't be in your opinion, the old man must be in the opinion of the old man. Shimura Danzo finished. Hitaki Kakashi's fists were already tightly clenched. But he didn't stand up. Also did not continue the topic of Konoha White Fang. Let's talk about Uchiha Shisui. Uchiha Shisui was originally a ninja at the root. He worked hard all his life and worked hard for Konoha and the Uchiha family. But his eyes ended up in the hands of your immediate boss. Excuse me. Why is that? Looked at Danzo sarcastically. If you want to discuss Danzo's black pot, I'm afraid no one present is better at it than Yifeng. Humph. It's just a bunch of nonsense. Danzo snorted directly, wanting to deny it. Uchiha Shisui's eyes are indeed in his hands. But only 4 people know this secret. That is Shimura Danzo, Sarutobi Hiruzen, Uchiha Shisui, Uchiha Itachi. Sarutobi Hiruzen and Uchiha Shisui are dead. Could it be Uchiha Itachi? What nonsense. Then, do you dare to untie the bandage on your right eye for everyone to see? Yifeng's face was full of ridicule. If Shisui's eyes were hidden by Danzo, Yifeng really didn't have a good way to prove the truth of this matter. But Shimura Danzo Ten took Shisui's Sharingan with him to show off. How could he deny this? Danzo, what the hell is going on? Take off your bandages and let me see. Tsunade frowned. Although Uchiha has been exterminated. But the matter of the Uchiha family is still very sensitive. If the high-level officials of Konoha village even grab the eyes of their own people, how will the Hyuga family view this matter? HMPH, that's right. Uchiha Shisui's eyes are in the hands of the old man. Danzo first snorted coldly. Subsequently, he sighed meaningfully again. Hey. Think back then. Uchiha Shisui found out that the evil Uchiha Itachi wanted to exterminate the clan, but he was attacked by Uchiha Itachi. After Shisui desperately escaped, he found the old man and gave the remaining eye to the old man. Originally, the old man is going to use this eye to stop Uchiha Itachi. But the old man is still one step late. It's a pity, it's a shame. Shimura Danzo launched a superb acting. The emotions expressed are quite sincere. It doesn't look like it's acting at all. Yifeng looked at him and wanted to give him a thumbs up. It's very beautiful. Then I'll ask you again, who gave you the bunch of Sharingan on your arm? Could it be that they found you before they died and entrusted it to you? Yifeng looked at Danzo coldly. Since there are already melons. So. Ready to take a good look at Danzo's foundation. Don't be afraid of big things. Arm, Danzo, what's going on? Explain, Tsunade demanded. Today's melon is really exciting. One wave after another. This is. Hey. Chapter 166_3 Questions for Danzo. Facing Yifeng's accusations. Shimura Danzo was not flustered at all. Feelings brewed, he sighed again. That day, after Uchiha Itachi exterminated the clan, the old man led the root ninja to rescue him, but at that time Uchiha Itachi had already done something unacceptable. However, when Uchiha Fugaku was dying, he asked me to transplant these Sharingan into my body, so as not to completely cut off Uchiha's Sharingan. Speaking of which, the old man is really ashamed. Patriarch Fugaku trusts the old man so much, but the old man is not as good as he imagined. Clap clap. Yifeng couldn't help clapping his hands. Wonderful. How wonderful. It's as wonderful as the wonderful frog seeds eating the wonderful crisp corner and living in the wonderful house. Then let me ask you again, on the day that Kyuubi, Ninetales, invaded Konoha, 3 and 4 generations were struggling to fight against Kyuubi, Ninetales, you, the genin leader in the shadow of Konoha village, what did you do then? Nightwind asked. Wonko child, what do you know? Kyuubi, Ninetales, wreaked havoc in the village that night. But the old man saw the clue of the problem at a glance. There must be a more insidious guy hiding behind Kyuubi, Ninetales. That's why this old man hid in the dark to prevent the village from being attacked by other ninja villages. Of course, you can't understand this kind of strategic awareness. Tisk tisk. Looked at Shimura Danzo with a bewildered expression. Surprised to the point of indescribable. It's not a shame that it's the king of Konoha. This black pot is justified. Then, what about the day of the Chunin exam? Orochimaru and Tsunagaku's strategy was a surprise attack and beheading. With the strength of the village at that time, even if there are other ninja villages taking advantage of the situation to attack, we also have the corresponding ability. Why don't you take action? Yifeng continued to ask. Hey, it's all tears. In those few days, the old man's hemorrhoids were committed, and he was recovering at home. He was really helpless. Shimura Danzo sighed and missed the old man. I knew earlier. How good is it to keep him alive? At least not having to answer so many deadly questions. ... That's it. A wave of mouth cannons shot down. Really fell in love with the 5 bodies that Danzo admired. Have to say. In terms of not getting fat, Shimura Danzo must be the strongest in the ninja world. Okay everyone, Elder Mito's injury is very important. This old man will take him down to heal his injuries first. Please reflect on yourselves here. See you. Shimura Danzo flicked his sleeves. Turn away. Leaving a room full of ninjas. Reflect on their own. Let's reflect on a ball of wool. ... The storm of the celebration passed quickly. In general, this incident did not have much impact on Konoha village. In the end, at this time, Tsunade also didn't want to completely tear up his face with the 3 old guys. There are too many things involved here. She still needs time. But since that day, the 3 old guys are even more stubborn, and they don't know what big move they are holding back. In the next month, Tsunade didn't assign Yifeng any more tasks. It really allowed him to cultivate in the village for a month. But this day, Tsunade finally called Yifeng into Hokage's office again. Old woman, do you have something to do with me? Yifeng sat carelessly across from Tsunade. Enjoyed the beautiful scenery. As majestic as Samui though. But since the shape is different, the user experience should also be different. HMPH, here comes the mission, little salted fish. Tsunade glanced at Yifeng speechlessly. Call her old woman at every turn. Although this is true. But the old lady's appearance shows that she is still a big sister, right? Don't you like Mrs.? But unfortunately, if Yifeng were to give Tsunade a score, he could only score an 87. Another mission. Is it far? Yifeng asked. Far, in a small country you may never have heard of, Tsunade replied. Oh, since that's the case, can't you arrange for other ninjas? Could you just let me do some quests nearby? Yifeng said in a sullen tone. Man. That's it. When he used to have a task for 3 or 5 days, he gradually didn't feel any resistance. But now, once idle, suddenly being assigned a task. Night Wind is annoying. No, the mission this time is a bit special. The big name of that small country will ask you to protect her by name. By the way, this big name is still a girl. Tsunade looked at Yifeng thoughtfully. Where is this kid? There was even a daimyo appointed to protect him. Hey, do you think these big names are insane? There are so many ninja villages and ninjas in the ninja world, why did they find me? Am I just a little more handsome? But is this my fault? Yi Wen sighed. Really? Being too good is also a problem. Most people don't understand. It's said, because she had a dream, Tsunade said, cupping his chin. Dream? What dream? Yifeng frowned. The content of the dream is probably that only you can protect her, and only you can let her get through this difficult time. So this time, they paid 3 times the S-rank quest payment, and let you go by name. Tsunade looked at Yifeng thoughtfully and said. This kid. Really handsome. But shouldn't he have met that girl's name? Why does it sound a bit like a dream lover? I really don't understand these little brats. Which small country is it? Yifeng asked after hearing Tsunade's description, frowning, and a bad feeling suddenly appeared in his heart. The Land of Ghosts, Tsunade replied. Yifeng took a deep breath. The Land of Ghosts. Yifeng looked at Tsunade with a different look and confirmed it again. That's right, the country of ghosts. Tsunade nodded and comforted. Although the name sounds a bit scary, there are no ghosts there, it's just a normal ninja country, don't worry too much. Ha ha. Yifeng shook his head. Yes. There are no ghosts in the Land of Ghosts. But there is a monster named Wang Liang and a shrine maiden named Xian. And Xian is the female name of the country of ghosts. In Yifeng's memory, this girl, Xian, is very beautiful. But she has a very bad habit. Xian often has some random and strange dreams. Either this one dies or that one hangs. And the most important thing is, every dream she has is accurate. It is almost the rhythm of dreaming that whoever dies will die. It's almost a fight with King Yama. So, Yifeng was dreaming about by her now. Also named in the past. Is this a pre-designed way to die? That's kind of scary. Chapter 167_Sprite Resurrection. Yifeng, what the hell am I going to do in a ghostly place like the Land of Ghosts? Tsunade, of course you went on a mission. Yifeng, is it okay not to do the task? Tsunade, don't do the quest, you come to support the village. Yifeng, I'll keep it for me. Tsunade, you better take care of yourself first. The conversation between the two ends here. Yifeng couldn't help but sighed. That's why there is no discussion. Yifeng shrugged, a little speechless. Nothing to discuss. I've already accepted the mission anyway, and if I go back on it now, I'll have to pay the other party 10 times as much. We can't do such a thing. Tsunade said decisively. 10 times the pay. The reward for 30 S-rank tasks. Just kidding. Yifeng, for the sake of money, you forced me to go to that kind of place to perform tasks. When you were in the gambling world, you were not a woman who valued money so much. Tsunade, I didn't have a choice before, but I'm different now. I want to be a good Hokage, that's all. The two looked at each other and looked at each other, speechless for a long time. Finally, Yi Feng sighed again. Since the task is assigned to me, you have to ask me anyway, and then decide whether to accept the task or not. What if I also get hemorrhoids like Danzo? Aren't you going to lose 10 times your pay? Yi Feng made a speechless rant. Stop talking nonsense. Hurry up and get ready, and you can go when you're ready. Tsunade glared at Yi Feng before adding. In addition, given the large amount of this mission, I also arranged for you a teammate, just in case. Tsunade's voice fell. Anbu Ninja walked in from outside the office. It's you, Yi Feng said. Anbu, ninja sword, female ninja, long purple hair. Recognized her as Azuki Yugao at a glance. After Azuki Yugao entered the door. Take off the mask that seals her beauty. Lord Hokage, do you have anything to do with me? Tsunade nodded. Briefly explain the matter of this task. This time the task is of great importance. So. Team of 2. Nightwind is the captain. Understood, Captain Yefeng, then I'll wait for you at the entrance of the village. After Azuki Yugao listened to the mission description. Without further ado. He accepted the mission without hesitation. Well, you don't even have to prepare it. Yi Feng asked. No, as an Anbu ninja, I'm always ready to go, I can leave now. Azuki Yugao said lightly. This is Anbu in Konoha village. The strength may not be the most top-notch in the ninja world. But their professionalism is indescribable. After 2 hours, Yi Feng said goodbye to Hinata and Ino. They finally embark on the journey of the mission to the land of ghosts. Ghost country. Late at night. A long-haired uncle named Huang Izumi broke into the underground palace guarded by only 4 or 5 samurai with 4 little fresh meat in white clothes. This place is where the witches of the land of ghosts seal the souls of sprites. Judging by the number of guards, the security measures in the country of ghosts are nothing but a joke. The group entered the underground palace. The palace was dead. A large number of terracotta-like puppets are displayed around the palace. In the center of the palace, a strange stone tablet shone with purple light. Then, named Huang Izumi walked to the stone tablet that sealed the sprite. He put his hands together. Very devoutly chanted a strange incantation. Probably means maybe. 155, 25110, 3555. Come out. Master Sprite. Then, I saw the stone tablet shattered. A large stream of black air poured out from the stone tablet. And then, the last monster in the ninja world, the sprite, has really come out. Huang Izumi, you finally found me. But now I only have a soul and no body, and I cannot exist in this world. The sprite said gloomily. Don't worry, sir, I have developed a dark medical ninjutsu, which allows your soul to temporarily reside in my body. Immediately after, man named Huang Izumi took out a scalpel and stabbed his body randomly. Demonstrates a technique called dark medical ninjutsu. Finally, the sprite's soul was resurrected through Huang Izumi's body. The death of Naruto theatrically begins. But Naruto didn't come. Azuki Yugao, do you Anbu usually do not speak like you when you are on a mission? Aren't you going to be bored? And Azuki Yugao drove for 2 days in a row. Finally arrived at the territory of the country of ghosts. But, along the way, Azuki Yugao basically doesn't speak, which makes Yi Feng feel very bored. Speaking will consume unnecessary strength and affect our speed, so it is unnecessary. Azuki Yugao looked into the distance, his tone was flat. In fact, Yi Feng can understand. Azuki Yugao was not originally such a character. Death of Moonlight Hayate. Azuki Yugao, character changed. In the end, ninjas are human too. It will also be affected by the 7 emotions and 6 desires. After a brief chat between the two, they continued to move towards the Daming Mansion in the Land of Ghosts. Along the way, they passed several camps. There are dead bodies everywhere in the camp. From the clothing point of view, it should be a samurai from the Land of Ghosts. Could it be that a war broke out in the Land of Ghosts? Azuki Yugao frowned. If there is a war, just because the two of them are here, they shouldn't be able to protect the Kingdom of Ghosts, right? Let's go first. Anyway, go and meet the employer first. Yi Feng said. Look. The sprite's soul should have been resurrected. These warriors should be killed by the puppet army of sprites. But okay. Although the puppet army is not easy to deal with. But they travel very slowly. And the puppet's target is the subterranean Matsuri altar in the country of Numa. Because the sprite's body is sealed there. About the sprite army. The kingdom of Oni and the kingdom of Swamp will also turn to the 5 kingdoms for help. So, Yifeng and the others' top priority now is to protect the witch Xian. The country of ghosts, the famous palace. Under the heavy siege of samurai, the Daming House was originally defenseless. But Hulong Izumi's men were all blessed by sprites. They have a very powerful dark energy in their bodies. And they also brought a group of puppets with them. Warriors are not afraid of life and death. But the defense line of Daming Palace will soon be penetrated by the 4 of them. Lord Miko, please escape quickly, our warriors won't be able to hold on for too long. Chapter 168 The Night Wind has come on horseback. Lord Miko, just come with us. We escaped from the back mountain, and we will not be found. Miko-sama, come with us. Xian's subordinates persuaded hard. They want Xian to escape as soon as possible. But, however, Ziwan looked at the front with a firm gaze. Unmoved. No. I'm not going. That ninja from Konoha village will definitely come to my rescue. He must be on his way by now. I've been dreaming. My dreams never go wrong. Xian's eyes were firm. Just sitting on his throne waiting for the arrival of the night wind. She firmly believed. The night wind will definitely come in time. But Lord Xian's subordinates wanted to say. I also understand the old terriers who arrived on horseback. Generally speaking, those who arrive on horseback will never arrive in the end. But Xian did not give him the opportunity to show off his profound knowledge. She waved her hand and said firmly, there is nothing wrong. This time the matter is very difficult. I must follow the instructions in the dream. A sprite is a monster. Sprites existed long before ninjas appeared. But the Witch of the Land of Ghosts is the nemesis of sprites. They are born with the ability to seal sprites. But now in the Land of Ghosts, only Xian is left as a shrine maiden. If something happens to her again, I am afraid that no one in this world can seal the sprite again. So, Xian's guards must not watch Xian be killed by sprites. Lord Ziwan, then you can only offend. A samurai forcibly carried Xian on his back, getting ready to run away. But right now, the 4 white-clothed little fresh meat finally killed the core of the Daming Mansion, the country of ghosts. Haha, are you the shrine maiden mentioned by the Sphinx-sama? I finally found you. Haha, after killing her, the Sphinx-sama is a real immortal existence. When the Sphinx-sama creates a brand new world, we are all heroes. Seal with both hands while talking. Both of them use futon, wind style, and one Kaden, fire style. Created a very terrifying flame. He lunged towards Xian. As long as the witch dies, the sprites are invincible. They can create immortal kingdoms. A thought here. The 4 white-clothed little fresh meat showed grim smiles. But this time, a seemingly ordinary kunai suddenly stuck in front of Xian. Immediately after. Swish. Yamanaka Yefeng appeared in Xiao Shanru's sight. Sweden, water style, water formation wall. Nightwind's chakra is very strong. The effect of water formation wall is similar to that of Hayden. Water formation wall, Xiao Shanru's wind-fire combo is as soft as a lamb. That's it. Didn't you say that you have the power that the sprites gave you? Can you be more serious? Yifeng frowned. I thought it was 4 kings, but I didn't expect it to be 4 bronzes. Then, Yifeng looked back at Ziyuan. Xian is a little sister who looks very much like Hinata. The hairstyle is a bit like that. The face shape is a bit similar. Even the body is a bit similar. The moment Yifeng saw Ziyuan, he really felt that there might be some kind of bad taste in the will of God. It's you. You are Yamanaka Yefeng. You really came. Xian looked at Yefeng with an excited smile on her face. According to the guidance of the dream, he is the man who can let her break her fate. Now, he is finally here. Well, he is Captain Yefeng, although we were delayed for a while because of the Terracotta Army. But fortunately, then leave your safety to us. Azuki Yugao stepped forward to explain. Azuki Yugao habitually put on Anbu's mask. Then, she stared coldly at the 4 little fresh meats in front of her. Full of hostility. HMPH, what a big tone, isn't it the ninja from Konoha village? Today I'll show you the true power that Mr. Sphinx has bestowed upon us. Xiao Shanru's voice fell. 4 strange snakes exuding a dark breath emerged from the back of their necks. The 4 of them skillfully grabbed the poisonous snake, pulled out its head, and poured a foul-smelling liquid into their mouths. Boom! Xiao Shanru instantly changed into a new skin. The feeling of overwhelming power appeared. They feel like they're doing it again like a Jinchuriki column. Ha ha ha, this is the real power that Master Sphinx has given us. You mortals should tremble under the power of Master Sphinx. Seeing the 4 people on the opposite side are so arrogant. Azuki Yugao waved the ninja's sword in his hand. Hazy Moon Knight. Azuki Yugao waved a ninja sword. A knife-shaped afterimage was pulled out in the air, condensed into a circular knife array like a moon. Drink. Azuki Yugao let out a soft drink. She charged directly to the enemy camp with the afterimage of the blade formation. This is her stunt of fame. Group attack ability is very strong. How dare you make a fool of a worm? The 4 skin ninjas were not afraid. They also rushed towards Azuki Yugao. I see. Countless afterimages surrounded Azuki Yugao. Makes it impossible to tell the truth. But Xiao Shanru's tactics are very tough. They didn't care about Azuki Yugao's at all. Just let Azuki Yugao's ninja slash at them. Dark power erupted within the body. Towards Azuki Yugao. This Azuki Yugao is an experienced Anbu ninja. After feeling the strangeness of the opponent's tactics, she directly used a substitute technique, and the main body returned to Yifeng. Captain Yefeng, their strength is very strange, and they can instantly recover from injuries. Looked at Azuki Yugao meaningfully and nodded, and said, well, to deal with this kind of player with strong endurance, you must remember in the future, and you must start directly. Yifeng's voice fell. Right hand raised. A strong Kaiden fire style chakra surged out of the palm. Take a shot in the air. Boom. Directly smashed the head of a little fresh meat. Dead through. This trick is Nightwind's modified 8 trigrams vacuum palm. The power is pretty good. See, Yifeng turned his head and said to Azuki Yugao. Then, not waiting for the remaining 3 to react, Yifeng disappeared again with a swoosh. He came to the back of a little fresh meat again, and pointed his index finger to his head. Futon, wind style, finger gun. Boom. And instantly killed an enemy. At this time, Yifeng retreated in despair. I originally thought that you might be a powerful faction, but I didn't expect that you were really just an idle faction. With the traffic of sprites, are you also like this? Yifeng said disdainfully. Then, Yifeng was too lazy to use ninjutsu. The two shuriken easily sent them on their way. This. Azuki Yugao was shocked in his heart. Is this the power of Yamanaka Yeka's? Was someone who could attract Hokage-sama's attention? Anko. Such a man. Can you really handle it? Chapter 169 I'm so hard. Facing the adoring gaze of Azuki Yugao, Yifeng shook his head quietly. Don't look at me like that. In fact, if you start with the first one, they'd be dead long ago. I don't know why you don't like the first one. Yifeng was actually quite speechless. Like Naruto. His Rasengan hits so well. But why never start? Wouldn't it be nice to just blow your opponent's head off? Why deliberately keep the other party and then show off the operation? It took the little fresh meat more than an hour to shock all the warriors. However, the night wind only took less than a minute. It completely refreshed the samurai's understanding of the word shock. Is this the night wind is too strong? Or are they too weak? Actually, if it weren't for the terracotta warriors' army entangled in the main force of the samurai, it is not so easy for the four little fresh meat to attack. But if you insist on comparing them with Yifeng, then they really aren't enough. After all, there is still a difference between the power faction and the idle faction. Not to mention, Yifeng is both a power faction and an idle faction. ... Sure enough, my dream is not wrong. You must have the ability to kill sprites. Ziyuan said excitedly looking at Yifeng. See what just happened in front of you. Xian is very happy. Prince Charming, who rescued her from the abyss of fate, is finally here. In the theater, Xian's character is a little bit perverse. But that's not really her nature. Because Xian has magical powers. So, she took on a heavy burden that she should not have taken at this age. Just like her current figure. Obviously younger than Hinata. But the figure is actually better than Hinata. She shouldn't bear such a heavy burden. What exactly are the sprites you're talking about? Are those puppets outside and the four people just now under spears? Azuki Yugao frowned. Obviously. She didn't know much about the country of ghosts. The sprite is a monster, and we don't know how it came into being. But according to some ancient books, sprites have existed for at least 1,000 years, Xian explained. Then, what happened now? Why didn't you mention about sprites in this mission? Azuki Yugao's brows were still tightly wrinkled. Although Anbu ninjas generally do not participate in the commission tasks of the village. But she still understands some basic rules. Deliberately concealing mission information is a very bad behavior. Even if the other party is the name of the country of ghosts. Don't hide mission details either. No, things are not what you think they are. Xian shook his head. Explain the ins and outs of things. When she first posted the mission. Just because she dreamed that Yifeng had the power to kill sprites. So, Shiyuan was about to let Yifeng come to the country of ghosts to execute the sealed sprite. Just kill the sprite. She will no longer have to bear the pressure of a witch from now on. But she never imagined that it was the sprite who broke the seal at this time. Regarding the sprite, we have already sent a request to the 5 major countries for help. All you have to do is to protect me. Ziyuan looked at Yifeng with a hint of slyness in his eyes. However, sprite will definitely come against me, so you must kill the sprites in order to protect me. Quote. After listening to Xian's explanation, Yifeng couldn't help shaking his head. Tisk tisk. The little girl is young. There are a lot of crazy ideas. But okay. As long as she didn't dream of Yifeng hanging up. However, dreams come true. This plugin is also very looking forward to. It's okay to protect you, and it's okay to kill sprites, but you just said that only Yifeng has the power to kill sprites. What does that mean? Azuki Yugao continued to ask. The sprite is an immortal existence, and we witches only have the power to seal her, but there is no way to kill him. Xian said. Speaking of which, Ziyuan glanced at Yifeng again. Confirmed eyes. It's this man. However, in my dream, I dreamed that he had the ability to kill sprites, so I found him. Xian said. You keep saying that I can kill sprites. But why don't I know how to kill them? What did you dream about? Yifeng stroked his chin, showing a thoughtful look. Ordinary power cannot kill sprites. The night wind is very clear. As for the sprite in the theatrical version, Naruto was killed by a witchcraft ball. That's just a plot kill. So, Yifeng is not good at escaping. How can I trigger a plot kill? You must have this kind of power. But I don't know exactly what kind of power it is. In the dream I only saw sprites die in front of you, but I don't know how you did it. Xian shook his head. Are you sure it's me? Not a blonde boy. Yifeng touched his chin, looked at Ziyuan meaningfully, and confirmed the details again. After all, Naruto is the main character in the drama. That's right, it's you. With a face as handsome as yours, I absolutely cannot remember it wrong. Ziyuan's eyes were determined. She said that she is absolutely impossible to admit the wrong person. Nightwing nodded. For your honesty. Then I will trust you for the time being. It's not really a big problem for your safety right now. But according to what you just said, your mother sealed the sprite's soul and body in different places. So we must not wait for the sprite to fully regain his strength. We're going to take the initiative. In the end, Yifeng actually didn't know how strong the sprite was. Don't look at Naruto destroying the sprite in the theatrical version. But bosses like this. He must be very strong, but when facing the protagonist, he just wasn't in his prime. So, if you let the sprite recover completely, it's hard for Yifeng to say what kind of shit he will come up with. So, Yifeng felt that they still had to find the sprite as soon as possible. You should know where the Matsuri altar that seals the sprite's body is. Take us there. I also want to see what this monster is like. Yifeng said. Okay, then let's go now. Ziyuan nodded, went forward and hugged Yifeng's neck, lying on Yifeng's back. I just screwed my foot, so you carried me go over there. Nightwing sighed. Feel the softness from the two special objects behind. He couldn't help feeling overwhelmed. What the hell is going on in this world? Silver's hooking silver me everywhere. I am so difficult. Chapter 170 The Secret of the Otsutsuki Clan. Swamp Country. Underground Matsuri Altar. Under the guidance of Xian, Yifeng and his party finally found the place to seal the sprite's body. But when they come to the underground Matsuri altar. Matsuri outside the altar. A large number of humanoid puppets have surrounded the place. It seems that the sprite has found his body. Yifeng frowned, but he didn't expect this guy to move so fast. Well, but his soul and body should merge soon, and his strength will not recover so quickly. Let's go in quickly. Ziyuan said. Okay, Yugao, you take the samurai to deal with the puppet first, and Ziyuan and I will go first. Yifeng ordered. Okay, be careful. Azuki Yugao nodded. Subsequently, Matsuri altar with Xian on his back. There is hot lava everywhere. At this moment, a creature that was not humanoid at all was standing at the very center of the Matsuri altar. Yifeng and the two entered the Matsuri altar. He seemed to sense Xian's arrival. Miko, you are finally here. The sprite turned his head, showing that terrifying face. I heard that you are a monster. What exactly is a monster? Yifeng looked up and down curiously. The sprite exudes a very special energy fluctuation. That is a completely different power from chakra. As sage art chakra. Of course a monster is a monster. Your question is very strange. It's like if I asked you what a human being is, how would you answer it? The sprite let out a weird laugh. You're right, this question is really difficult to answer. Then let me ask you another way. I heard that you are from a different world. What does your world look like? Yifeng asked. After Yifeng asked this question, the sprite sneered and laughed. Another world. Hee hee, You humans are really brainwashed. Gigi shook his head, his eyes filled with disdain. What do you mean by that? Yifeng frowned, feeling that there was something in his words. Although I am a monster, I am a creature born and raised in this world, not like those guys who came from another world to plant trees. There was a ray of light in Gigi's eyes, which seemed to be a little resentful and a little jealous. The guy who planted the tree. Are you talking about Otsutsuki's sacred tree? Yifeng frowned tightly. Listen to sprites. He should be referring to the Otsutsuki clan. But, NT the sprite already sealed before Kagaya came to Earth. How could he know about the divine tree? Or say, before Otsutsuki Kagaya came to the ninja world. Could it be that someone from Otsutsuki has already come to Earth? Hehe, you actually know about the divine tree. It seems that you know a lot of things. The sprite finally showed a slightly surprised look. The tree of gods is there. But not many people know the details of the divine tree. By the way, in this millennium, who was the one sent by the Otsutsuki family to plant trees? Is it the man of Susanoo or god Amaterasu? Or the brothers Izanagi and Izanagi? The sprite said casually. But when Yifeng heard these names, I feel very shocked in my heart. Susanoo, Amaterasu, Izanagi. Yifeng is no stranger to these names. They are both pupils of the Sharingan of the Uchiha clan. It is also the name of the gods in some mythical stories circulating in the ninja world. Stories about them. It has been around the earth for thousands of years. But now, the sprite actually said that they really existed. Are they all from the Otsutsuki clan? Yifeng suddenly felt that he couldn't understand the ninja world more and more. Am I a fake Hokage ninja fan? Or is this world actually a fake Hokage ninja world? Dying. This time it's a woman called Otsutsuki Kagaya, we call her the goddess of Mao. Yifeng calmed down and said slowly. Goddess of Mao. Lao Su has never even heard of it. Could it be that he is a weak chicken? Gigi sneered, obviously disdain for Kagaya. But this is normal, since Susanoo's man killed the Orochi, we have completely lost the ability to fight them. Up to now, it is estimated that there are not many left of our group of gods and ghosts, right? It is normal for Otsutsuki to send a weak chicken to plant a tree, and the next 1,000 years may be even weaker. Sprite touched his chin and recalled the past. If the people Otsutsuki sent to plant trees now are getting weaker and weaker, then wouldn't he have at least 1,000 years to worry about being hanged by the strong Otsutsuki? Steady, steady. I'm going to go against the sky. Yifeng heard this. His eyes became more serious. It's not even a myth or legend that Susanoo's man killed the Orochi Yachi. Is it real? And it sounds. Orchid Orochi are the supreme powerhouse among the original native creatures. There are only 3 immortal places left in this world: Shikatsu Forest, Ryachi Cave, and Mount Myoboku. There are 3 immortals in the 3 immortal lands, but they are rarely seen in the outside world. Yifeng said truthfully. Are you talking about slugs, white snakes, and toads? Just a few of them dare to call themselves immortals now. No wonder Otsutsuki only sent an unknown. There is really no hero at all times, and the weak chicken becomes a god. The sprite laughed grimly. Expressed his disdain for the 3 holy places of the ninja world. Ancient. What is it like? Yifeng took a deep breath. It is rare for him to encounter a monster with ancient knowledge of Akatsuki's ninja world. So, Yifeng intends to have a good consultation. Ancient. Of course, the ancient times were the great Tao contending, and the hundreds of tribes were released. But the spiritual veins of our world have been destroyed by Otsutsuki's sacred tree, and the prosperity of the ancient times can't be reproduced after all. The spear sighed. Next. Sprite and Yifeng fell silent. All have their own thoughts. That is to say, Otsutsuki's sacred tree destroyed the spiritual energy of the ninja world, and the natural energy became exhausted, so the overall combat power of the ninja world became scum. So here comes the question. Will there be a moth about the recovery of spiritual energy in this world in the future? Yifeng suddenly felt a little awkward. After a long time, Shi Yuan asked weakly, Yifeng, didn't we come here to completely eradicate sprites? How did you guys start chatting? Well, I suddenly heard him talk about so many secrets, and couldn't hold back for a while. Yifeng returned to his senses and looked at Sprite. Spook, thank you for telling me these things, but for the sake of this world's Anning, I'm still going to kill you. Yifeng's words were light and light. The sprites scoffed at this. Cut, my sprite is an immortal existence, and you want to kill me just because of your scum. Spook said disdainfully. How can you know if you don't try? Yifeng's voice fell. The sword is unsheathed. Swish. The terrifying sword force condensed into a curved black moon kiba. Soar to the sky. Directly devour the sprite's body. Chapter 171 _ The world belongs to ninjas. The sprite, is it finally dead? Quote. Xian became extremely excited when she saw the sprite disappearing in front of her eyes. She has lived in the shadow of sprites since she was a child. Now, she is finally going to ask this nightmare. But, Yifeng shook his head. It's not dead. Although its form has been destroyed, its power is still there and it will recover. Really? In a blink of an eye. The sprite appeared in front of Yifeng and Xian again. Only, his body seemed to be thinner than before. How is this possible? How can you possibly have this demon knife in your hand? A look of fear finally appeared on the sprite's face. It seems that my knife can hurt you, right? Yifeng's eyes lit up. No wonder Xian dreamed that he could kill sprites. It was because of this black knife. The sealed demon sword Onikiru. Humph, this is a demon sword. Even if you use him to kill me, you won't have a good end. The owner of the demon sword never ends well, and it would be like to say that the old age is ominous. The sprite suddenly roared loudly at Yifeng. It seems he was really scared. Many people have told me that Goosh is a demon sword that will attack its master, but it helped me kill a lot of powerful enemies. Yifeng calmly looked at the Goosh in his hand and said, So, you can tell me, do I have a history with Goosh? Yifeng rarely encounters an old monster with ancient knowledge. So, he also wanted to inquire about Goosh's secret. HMPH, I don't know what its origins are. But it can hurt my soul. It's a complete demon sword. The sprite said sharply. Cut your soul. That's it, then you can die. Yifeng suddenly realized. The power of the sprite lies in the special power that belongs to the monster contained in its soul. Since the ghost can cut the soul, that naturally can really kill it. Swish. Next. Another slash. Every time Yifeng swung the sword to destroy the sprite, it would recover through the magic energy. But, every time the sprite is recondensed and formed, its size will become a little thinner. Continue like this. It will die sooner or later. Don't chop, please don't chop. You need my strength. Only when you and I join forces can we defeat Otsutsuki and let this world enjoy another 1,000 years of peace. Only then can this world have a chance to restore the grandeur of the ancient times. The sprite trembled and began to beg Yifeng. This moment, the sprite was really panicking. Because, if you let Yifeng cut it like this again, it really is dying. Oh, no need, the Otsutsuki of the last millennium have already been taken care of by Gamamaru of Mount Myoboku, and the Otsutsuki of the next millennium I will take care of them myself. As for this world, this is a world that belongs to ninjas, a world that belongs to my Yamanaka Yifeng, and there is no need to restore what you call the ancients. Yifeng said lightly. In ancient times, it was true that the Great Road contended. But, no doubt, humans were at a disadvantage back then. Otherwise, human beings would not have left much heritage in that period. So the ninja world no longer needs to return to the ancient times. It's fine now. With Mount Myoboku, Ryachi Cave, Shikatsu Forest, can they handle Otsutsuki? I don't believe it. The sprite roared. slugs, white snakes, and toads. But it's just the gatekeeper of Orochi. What power can they have? And if something happened to Otsutsuki in the last millennium, the next millennium will definitely be a master. You guys can't handle it, Sphinx said firmly. Don't worry, for the next 1,000 years. They are coming from weaker chickens, I'm not worried about that at all. Yifeng was extremely calm, and he slashed again. Isn't that Otsutsuki Momoshiki, Otsutsuki Kinshiki, Otsutsuki Ura style? To be frank, they are much weaker than Kagaya. Not at all to worry about. Who told you that the next 1,000 years will be weak? You don't understand Otsutsuki at all. Their family is a very terrifying family, you don't know anything at all. Seeing that the night wind was not getting in, he let out a hysterical roar in a hurry. I don't know much about Otsutsuki, but I've seen bloggers. Yifeng shrugged. What a foolish thing. The sprite showed a confused look. What are these strange names? But Yifeng didn't mean to explain to Sprite at all. What happened to the pit father? That's true love too. I can barely watch half an episode in a day. Then Yifeng swung out a knife again. This time, the blade stance that Yifeng condensed turned out to be more and more like Moon Kiba. Boom! Black Moon Kiba rose into the sky, destroying the sprite once again. Please don't cut it, and that witch over there, isn't your mission to seal me? Why don't you hurry up? Are you right on your witch mission? Sphinx called out to Xian for help. Kill it, Yifeng, Xian responded. Good. It was slashed again. The sprite was finally completely wiped out by the night wind. With the death of the sprite, the humanoid puppets from the outside world also turned into fly ashes. Disappear. Monsters. Death. Time flies, time flies. In a blink of an eye. 2 years have passed. Yifeng has grown from a 14-year-old boy to a 17-year-old young man. During the 2 years, Yifeng has successively completed many sign-in tasks issued by the system. Now, he has collected 7 escape techniques of yin, yang, wind, fire, thunder, water, and earth. It is also logical to be promoted to the elite Jonin of Konoha village. And is also top-notch in the circle of elite Jonin. However, Yifeng felt very dissatisfied with his current state. On the way back to the village after completing the task, Yifeng's brows furrowed tightly. It's already March, and there's only half a year left until the 4th Ninja War. If it goes on like this, I'm afraid it will be difficult to wrestle with those local melon skins. Although the night wind seems to be strong now, his Dantian has improved significantly, and he has stored a large amount of chakra in his Dantian. Even fighting chakra with the tailed beast can last for a long time. But after a few months, the tail beast is simply a charger. In front of the 6 Paths class, Yifeng's current strength is simply not enough. He must become stronger. System, it's been a while since you signed in for the task, do you dare to come out and squeak? Yifeng complained in his heart. Sometimes, Yifeng even wondered if the system had hung up. Host, please be patient, this system is just. Okay, no need to explain, I understand. Isn't it that you can't create rewards, just a porter of rewards? Anyway, you can figure it out for yourself. If it goes on like this, I'm afraid I will eat jujube pills. Chapter 172 The Assassination Plan of Kumogakure Village. Yifeng shook his head. Direction of Konoha Village. It stands to reason, the biography of Hayate should be about to start. When will Gaara's side come out with something? According to the urine of the system, there should be a sign-in task. So, Gaara, not that I'm expecting you to get hammered. It's purely because the system is so buggy. ... It didn't take long. Yifeng returned to the entrance of Konoha village. The 2 eternal door gods from Konoha village greeted Yifeng warmly from afar. Hey, Yifeng, I came back after finishing the S-class mission so quickly. The efficiency of completing the mission is really staggering. Haha, there is a beautiful young lady waiting for him in Yefeng's house. Of course he has to come back soon. Oh, that's even more enviable. Tai and Kamizuki Izumo are known as the eternal goalkeepers of Konoha village. Yifeng would chat with them every time he passed by the gate. So, after a long time, their relationship is not bad. I also envy you guys, as long as you guard the gate here. If you use Shadow Clone, your body can go high at will. Yifeng really envied them. Because what he hates most is traveling. Ah, it's only Yifeng, your Shadow Clone can be so strong. Yeah, if it were the two of us, Shadow Clone would probably be dead in less than 10 minutes. The two-door gods smiled awkwardly. Although the technique of Shadow Clone is not as pervert as the technique of multiple Shadow Clone. But a normal ninja's chakra simply can't sustain Shadow Clone for too long. By the way, have you heard that something big happened at Sunagakure recently? Yifeng asked. I don't think so. Have you heard of Kamizuki? Gangziti glanced at his old partner and recalled that he really hadn't heard of any major incidents recently. We are just two gatekeepers. I don't know if there is news. Yifeng, you are probably asking the wrong person. Kamizuki Izumo laughed. Okay, then don't bother the two of you, I'll go first. Yifeng smiled, and after completing the formalities, he returned to Konoha village. After returning to the village, came to the training ground of the Yamanaka clan after completing the task. At this time, Ino and Hinata sat cross-legged with eyes and nose and mind. On their foreheads, each has a pink diamond stamp. Very cute. Make them look more spiritual. Not bad, your yin seal seems to have improved again. Yifeng dodged and came to Hinata and Ino, looking at them with a smile. Night Wind. Brother. Why did you come back so soon? The two said in unison, looking very happy. Well, the task this time is relatively simple, so it doesn't take much effort. Yifeng smiled and touched their little heads and asked, how is the cultivation of yin seal recently? Is there anything you don't understand? As disciples of Tsunade, Ino and Hinata can naturally learn Tsunade's yin seal. But not everyone can master Tsunade's yin seal. Like Shizune. She has followed Tsunade for decades, but just can't learn. Fortunately, Yifeng's Dantian Yin has been developed to the peak of the Grandmaster level. Yin seal in his view. It's like a university professor doing an elementary school math Olympiad. There is no mystery at all. So, under the careful guidance of the Night Wind, Ino and Hinata were introduced to the Yin seal half a year ago. Cultivation is not confusing now, but the amount of chakra in our body is too small, and the accumulation of chakra is too slow. Ino sighed, looking a little lost. They thought they could catch up with Yifeng by learning the Yin seal. But unexpectedly, after they learned the Yin seal, they really realized how big the gap between them and Yifeng was. It doesn't matter, this thing is a drop of water and stoneware. As long as you practice hard, you can accumulate a lot of chakra sooner or later. Yifeng said with a smile. Okay Ino, it's rare for Yifeng to come back early. Shall we eat hot pot together at noon? Hinata laughed. Okay, I haven't eaten hot pot for a long time, then let's go to my brother's house to eat. Yes. Yifeng has now moved out alone. Do not ask. Asking is the soul of Washa. Only by owning a house of your own will you feel at ease. ... The three came to Yefeng's house. Yefeng's house is huge. There is a very spacious yard. There are a lot of flowers and plants in the yard, and some cute little animals are also raised. It will feel very cozy. Yifeng usually likes to lie in his yard the most. Drink and drink. Enjoy the flowers. Make an effort. Take it easy. The three of them entered the door. A female ninja in a servant costume immediately greeted her from the back room. You're back, what do you want to eat for lunch? I'll go and prepare it now. Hot pot, The bottom of the pot, the spicy half is pervert spicy. Okay. The neodymium servant turned and walked into the house. Started to get busy for everyone's lunch. Ino looked at the busy figure of the neodymium servant. Brows furrowed. Brother, is this really good? I always think that she betrayed Kumogakure village's fake. She came to rely on you on purpose. Maybe she was looking for an opportunity to carry out an assassination mission. Yifeng heard the words, his eyes swept across neodymium servant, and then he smiled casually. It doesn't matter what her purpose is. Anyway, her current identity is just Sam, and Samui's character has been hidden in the depths of her soul by me. Yifeng glanced at Sam casually. A strange look flashed in his eyes. Yifeng's neodymium servant is Samui. A year ago. News from Kumogakure village. They say Yifeng used the Yamanaka secret technique in Samui's spiritual world to plant the seeds that allowed her to lurk. So, Reikage suspects that Samui is Yifeng's spy in Kumogakure village. So Reikage imprisoned Samui. Prepare to be put to death. But, on a dark and windy night, Samui was very lucky to escape. She went straight to the village of Konoha. Take refuge in the night wind. At that time, there were many people in the village who opposed Yifeng's collection of Samui. But, for such a girl, Yifeng always refuses to come. As for the secrets hidden in the corners, how could Yifeng not be clear? There has never been so much luck in this world. Xiaojuju Yifeng was very clear in Reikage's heart. But, Yifeng was not at all worried about Samui's assassination. On the first night of their reunion, lightning flashes, thunderstorms. Finally, at the perfect opportunity, Samui resisted the joy in the depths of his soul, took out the kunai that she had secretly hidden, and stabbed it towards Yifeng's throat. Chapter 173 Hayate biography opens. Generally speaking, at a time like this, a man would never have imagined that a woman who had already been tamed by him would suddenly attack. Such a blow was too sudden. This is the result of Samui training countless times. Of course, she trained by herself. However, when Samui's kunai pierced Yifeng's throat, Samui found out that her perfect plan was nothing but a flower in the mirror. It was a seemingly well-planned assassination attempt. Demonic illusion that Yifeng has prepared for her. And Samui is like an actor. A very wonderful special performance was put on for Yifeng. That moment, Samui's spirit immediately collapsed. Sam also showed up at that time. And then, Sam completely let himself go. A real ups and downs brought them a long-lost sense of pleasure. Since then, Yifeng completely controlled Samui's spiritual world. It took him 3 months. Finally, Sam's character was stabilized, and Samui's character was completely hidden. Until now, Yifeng sometimes doesn't know whether it's Sam or Samui. But, that happy feeling is no different from that in the frontier camp of the Land of Fire. Sam is actually quite pitiful. She was abandoned by her own village. That feeling must be very uncomfortable. The kind Hinata said looking at Sam's busy figure in the kitchen. Hinata is 16 years old. The places where it should be developed are already well developed. Although she and Yifeng have not reached the final step yet. But, Hinata already knows a few things. She knew the relationship between Yifeng and Sam. But, how to say? Like mother said, men are all virtuous, so there is nothing to worry about. That's it. 4 people enjoyed the perfect hot pot meal at home. After feasting, they lay together in Yifeng's yard, blowing a small wind, watching the clouds in the sky. At this time, the system finally released the latest check-in task. Ding! Ask the host to kill Deidara and Sasori himself, and then check in next to Gaara's body. Yifeng frowned. Sit up from the rocking chair. See what it means. Is this Hayate biography finally about to begin? But, want to check in next to Gaara, body without killing Sasori of the Red Sand and Deidara first. Sasori of the Red Sand is better to kill. After all, that guy was a little overconfident, and even put such an obvious weakness in front of the enemy. At the speed of the night wind, killing Sasori in seconds is not a problem at all. But Deidara, in terms of overall strength, Deidara is definitely inferior to Sasori. But Deidara has a bigger nerve. Still a very religious old artist. If you push him in a hurry, get a big star out. Still a bit of a hassle. So, Yifeng felt that if he wanted to kill Deidara, he had to be surprised. I don't know if the letter of help from Sunagakure village has been sent. This time the head can't be taken away by Sakura. Just when Yifeng hesitated, an Anbu ninja arrives at Yifeng's house. Lord Yifeng, the 5 generations are welcome. This Anbu ninja is respectful. It shows Yifeng's status in Konoha village today. Oh, looking for me? Yifeng was slightly taken aback. I heard that there was an emergency report from Sunagakure. I don't know the specific situation, but the matter is urgent. Please rush over there as soon as possible, Lord Yifeng. Anbu ninja said. Yifeng felt relieved when he heard the words. At this time, Sunagakure has sent an urgent report. Needless to say, Gaara must have been caught. Hokage office. Yifeng, in order not to waste time, he activated Hiraishin directly, brought Hinata and Ino, and came to Tsunade together. Damn, the old lady has redecorated the office 3 times. Where did you hide the Hiraishin mark? Tsunade was startled by the sudden appearance of the night wind. She was really speechless at the way Yifeng appeared. The old lady is also a village chief. You can come in without knocking on the door. Is it okay to come in directly with Hiraishin? Do you want the face of the old lady village chief? Can you still have some privacy? Master, what happened in Sunagakure? Ino asked straight to the point. Gaara was captured by Akatsuki's men, and Sunagakure couldn't find any clues, so asked Konoha for help. Tsunade put down the intelligence scroll in his hand and briefly introduced the current situation. Akatsuki, what kind of organization is this? What are they going to do with Cage? Hinata asked in confusion. Yeah, how come I've never heard of this group? What the hell are they doing? Orochimaru isn't going to do it again, is it? Ino asked 3 questions about his soul with a surprised look on his face. In the worldview of Hinata and Ino, Orochimaru is already the biggest and scariest boss in the ninja world. They can't imagine how many big belly blacks are hidden behind the ninja world. I will explain the Akatsuki matter to you slowly in the future. Tsunade shook his head, looked at Yifeng and said, although you have just returned from a mission, I hope you can rush to Sunagakure as the first echelon, go first. Find out what's going on there. In the end, the shadow of a village was arrested. This kind of thing is no trivial matter. And Konoha village, as an ally of Sunagakure, naturally cannot sit idly by. But take Tsunade's knowledge of Yifeng. She knew that what Yifeng hated most was carrying out such long-distance missions. What's more, he has just returned from a mission. But what Tsunade never expected was. Yifeng agreed very readily. Okay, I'll go back and prepare briefly, and then I can set off. Yifeng took over the task neatly. Then let's go too. Ino raised his hand with a warlike expression on his face. Her Noor Hinata's class has had an assignment recently. If we can form a temporary team with Yifeng to support Sunagakure, then she can kill people with confidence. No, the water in Sunagakure village is too deep, it's easy for you to go into trouble. Yifeng shook his head. Although Deidara's strength is not weak, but Sunagakure village's own Cage was caught in his own village. The water inside this village must be deep. Of course. Yifeng refused Ino's request was that Deidara was too dangerous. What, brother? We are no longer children. People are going to kill people. When Ino heard that his brother wanted to get rid of her again, he became anxious. I'm going to kill people, I'm going to kill people, I'm going to kill people. Think about important things 3 times. Yefeng, in fact, our strength has reached the level of Jonin, you just believe us. Hinata also looked at Yefeng with confidence and said. The 2 of them are not weak at all. Now I have learned a lot of medical ninjutsu from Tsunade. Comprehensive combat capability is extremely strong. Yefeng is right. The water in Sunagakure village is also very deep. It's not appropriate for you 2 silly Bashan to follow along. Chapter 174 The Art of the Wind. Tsunade shook his head. Although Gaara is young, but his strength is already relatively strong in this generation. Not to mention, Gaara is also a Jinchuriki column force. How could he be captured alive? And it's still at the entrance of my own village. Do all the ninjas in Sunagakure village eat rice? They attacked Konoha village a few years ago. So, if the 3rd generation of Hokage was trapped to death, it can also be pushed to the point where everyone could not crack the 4 purple flame formation. So, Gaara and Deidara fought in plain sight. How can no one help? If Sunagakure is really weak like this, it is estimated that it could have been divided up by the other 4 villages. Ino pouted and muttered in disapproval, although we are white and sweet, we are not stupid. They are sister cut, not stupid and sweet. Yifeng smiled and touched their little heads. Not much to say. You too. Tsunade glanced at her 2 little apprentices helplessly. You can also participate in this support operation, but not as the 1st echelon. Can we participate too? Hinata looked at Tsunade in surprise. It's alright. The 2nd echelon is also fine, as long as you can kill people. Ino laughed. Although it is the 2nd tier. But it's better than just staying in the village and waiting for news. The mission this time is very important, and Yifeng is the 1st echelon. After the Kakashi classes such as Ino and Hinata have assembled, they are temporarily joined as the 2nd tier. Also when the Might Guy class comes back, I'll let them back as the 3rd tier. If there is no problem, let's go back and prepare. Don't look at Tsunade being careless at the gaming table. But on big things, Tsunade has always been very cautious. The reason why she sent Yifeng to visit Sunagakure first. It was because Tsunade felt that Yifeng had the courage and the ability to make a decision no matter what happened to Sunagakure village. Tsunade also believes in Yekazi's decision. After leaving the Hokage office, the 3 of them went back to their respective homes, packed up their combat supplies, and prepared to leave. Nightwind came home. Sam has already helped Yefeng prepare a knife kit and a medical kit in advance. And a set of masks specially designed for sand protection was also prepared for him. Looking at how quickly you are leaving, I guess there must be important tasks, so I prepared these in advance. Sam smiled and handed the things to Yifeng. Thank you. Yifeng took the backpack. Looking at Sam meaningfully. Such a smart and virtuous neodymium servant. Reikage actually sent her over to perform such a cunning stealth assassination mission. What a brainless one. If there is a chance in the future, if you can get Ram and Rem together, and get a Solare out, it seems to be more powerful. No thanks, this is what I should do. Sam smiled softly, and then reminded, the land of wind is dry, I put some more hydrating agents in my backpack, please drink more water and keep body hydration. Quote. Well, okay, I'm leaving. Yifeng raised his hand to touch Sam's cheek and kissed her on the forehead. Then, instantly disappeared in the yard. Feng left Konoha village. He performed an ninjutsu that was specially used to hurry. The night wind is called the art of controlling the wind. The principle of the art of fighting the wind is very simple. Manipulates the extremely pure futon wind-style chakra in the dantian, which emerges from the acupuncture points behind along the meridians and condenses into a pair of wings of the wind. Although this technique consumes chakra faster, but the flight speed is definitely not to say. less than half a day's effort, had already arrived at the gate of Sunagakure village. The village of Sunagakure is located in the middle of the desert. The architecture of the whole village is filled with a feeling of loneliness. Yifeng looked up. The scenery in front of me was almost the color of sand. The scenery here is too far from Konoha. Yifeng shook his head and landed at the entrance of Sunagakure village. At this time, dozen Sunagakure ninjas jumped out of the shadows. Stop. Who is coming? Hurry up and sign up. Kei's cage of Sunagakure village was caught. The ninjas here have already begun to fight. Not to mention, the night wind comes by the wind. Very similar to the Deidara who came to catch their Kei's cage on a big bird. So, they all put on a look of vigilance. I'm a ninja from Konoha village, and I'm here to support you. Yifeng shrugged. Has already checked the entrance to Sunagakure village with Byakugan. There are enchantments all around, and there are a lot of detonating talismans buried in the ground and the surrounding walls. If anyone dares to break in, it will definitely be fried. Fortunately, he is an ally, and he doesn't need to push hard. You are the support of the Konoha village. That's a bunch of nonsense. When the ninjas of our Sunagakure village are fools. It's so arrogant. Yifeng reported from behind the door. Instead, the gatekeeper ninjas of Sunagakure village assumed a posture that they wanted to attack Yekas. This made Yifeng a little confused. Count the time, our letter of help will be sent to Konoha village this morning at most, but you are here now, don't you think your acting is too bad? A gatekeeper ninja shouted sharply. At the same time, he had already asked his companions to spread the news to the village. Any bells and whistles must be known to the leaders. That way you don't get caught. Hey, I really convinced you guys. I'm so helpless that my speed is fast. Yifeng shrugged silently. He then threw Sunagakure's scroll of help to the opponent. Look, this always proves that my identity is all right. Sunagakure gatekeeper ninja opens the scroll. Double check. His face instantly turned blue. Sure enough, it's our village's help scroll. I didn't expect it. The comrade we sent to Konoha to ask for help was also killed by you. What on earth are you trying to do? The Sunagakure gatekeeper ninjas were outraged. That's right. The reals are real. Does that mean that their companion who went to Konoha village for help was also killed by the person in front of him? It's so inhumane. Hey, you people's brains. It's really reasonable, and I'm really speechless, so let's wait for Maki to come out. Yifeng sighed. Although Yifeng couldn't enter Sunagakure village, he felt a little speechless. But think about it carefully. It is understandable that Sunagakure ninjas are wary. Kei's cage got caught after all. It's perfectly normal for people to be careful. Fortunately, Yifeng has used Byakugan to see that Maki is coming. It's not a big deal to wait. Chapter 175 This medicine can detoxify. Maki is the elite Jonin of Sunagakure village. Is also the master of Gaara, Tamari, and Konkuro. His status in Sunagakure village is even higher than Hitaki Kakashi's in Konoha village. Especially now. 5 generations of Kei's cage from Sunagakure village were captured by Akatsuki. The village has long been in chaos. Maki has been busy in and out of the village. But now, a ninja suspected of being an enemy appeared outside the village. Disguised as the Konoha reinforcements. This is not enough after the storm is over, and now you want to outsmart it. It's been an eventful autumn. Maki sighed after a while. It didn't take long. He came to the gate of Sunagakure village. After he saw that the ninja waiting outside was Yifeng. Maki is overjoyed. It turned out to be Yifeng-kun from Konoha village, no wonder the speed of support is so fast. Maki laughed. Of course Maki knew Yifeng. After all, Yifeng is very famous in the ninja world. He forced back the Killer Bee Jinchuriki column force and captured the Killer Bee Jinchuriki column force disciple alive. He has performed hundreds of S-rank missions and never had a bad review. He became an elite Jonin of Konoha village at the age of 17, and is said to be a candidate for the next generation of Hokage. If Maki couldn't help but come out even at night, can only be said that the intelligence system of Sunagakure village is too bad. Maki, how is the situation in Sunagakure village? Yifeng asked straight to the point about the situation in Sunagakure village. The situation, not so good. Maki shook his head and sighed. If it is normal. The shadow of a village was captured. The first thing everyone has to do is to do everything in their power to save Kazekage. But today's Sunagakure ninja village is undercurrent. Maki felt that he was about to lose it. Where's Kankuro? Why didn't you see him come out? Yifeng asked knowingly. After Lord Kazekage was captured, Kankuro went to track the enemy, and when we found him, he was already poisoned. Maki's face instantly turned very ugly. At that time, Maki urged Kankuro to just follow him, and don't do anything. But Kankuro was eager to save people and was abused by Sasori. Not only lost the tracking clues. He is still alive and dead. Lying in the intensive care unit of the first village hospital in Sunagakure village receiving treatment. So it is. Yifeng gave Maki a meaningful look. It seems that the plot development of Sunagakure village is not too different from Yifeng's memory. Shouldn't be a problem. Take me to see Kankuro first, I have a way to detoxify him. Yifeng said. You can cure the Kankuro poison. Maki was shocked. Kankuro has been lying down for 2 days. Maki even invited out 2 seniors, Chiyo and Ebizo, who had long since retired. But Chiyo and Ebizo are good at using poison though. But Sasori of the Red Sand seems to have a higher level of poisoning than them. The 2 elderly people have not found any clues to detoxification until now. Seeing that Kankuro will not live tomorrow. However, Yifeng actually said that he can detoxify. Is it necessary to make a fuss? Have you forgotten? During the Second and Third Ninja Wars, all the poisons in your village were cured by Konoha. It's the same now. Yifeng said indifferently. Although he did not learn medical ninjutsu. But he did get a large box of universal antidote during a check-in mission. Detoxifying Sasori's poison should be a piece of cake. After all, although this system is pitted, it does not abuse words. To say it is omnipotent should really be omnipotent. Maggie was speechless for a while, her expression a little embarrassed, but it's good to be able to detoxify, face is not so important, well, I'll take you to the intensive care unit now. Walk into Sunagakure village. Was taken directly to the number 1 village hospital in Sunagakure village. From the size of the hospital, the strength of Sunagakure village is indeed incomparable to that of Konoha. At this time, Chiyo and Ebizo are in the intensive care unit, double-checking Kankuro's condition. Sasori's poison talent is indeed better than you and me. I didn't expect him to develop such a difficult poison. Chiyo looked sad. Apparently she hasn't found a way to detox. Hey, he deliberately poisoned Kankuro, but he didn't kill Kankuro. It seems that he deliberately challenged you, sister. Ebizo also sighed. Sasori is a genius. Whether it's poison or the puppet technique. Sasori is second to none in the ninja world. Pity. He betrayed the village. If Sasori hadn't betrayed Sunagakure village, he can definitely become the strongest Kazekage in Sunagakure village in all the generations. If that is the case, Sunagakure village will not be in such a state of collapse as it is now. Such a pity. At this time, Maki pushed the door open and invited Yifeng in. Yifeng-kun, Kankuro's injury is already very serious, please help me take a look. Maki said solemnly. Hear the sound. Chiyo and Ebizo looked back together. Chiyo saw the Konoha guard on Yifeng's forehead. Slightly stunned. Subsequently, she snorted coldly and said, what's going on? What are the people of Konoha village doing here? Yifeng shrugged and answered Chiyo's question honestly. It's not because you can't handle it yourself, that's why I came to help. Ah, Granny Chiyo, he's a ninja sent by Konoha village to support us. Seeing that the two of them didn't give each other any respect, Maki explained with a slightly embarrassed expression, we couldn't find Gaara. That's why I asked Konoha for help. Maki can actually understand the thinking of Chiyo's generation. Although Konoha village and Sunagakure village are allies. But at people of Chiyo's age, Konoha village is absolutely not to be trusted. But these are extraordinary times. Sunagakure had to rely on the power of Konoha village. Must use the power of Night Wind. That guy Tsunade is really generous. The 5th generation of Kazekage from our Sunagakure village was arrested, and she actually sent a kid over to support her. Isn't that too perfunctory? Chiyo said disdainfully. Think of Tsunade. The fire in Chiyo's stomach couldn't be suppressed. She spent 10 years of energy. Developed for Sunagakure village. Result. All cracked by Tsunade. Her decades of hard work turned out to be the stepping stone to make Tsunade famous. Although Chiyo is old, she is a woman after all, how could she not be angry? Mother Chiyo, you may not know Yefeng very well. Although he is young, he is already the #1 elite Jonin of Konoha village. Maybe he will inherit the position of the 6th generation Hokage of Konoha village in the future. Konoha village did not perfunctory. Maki explained with a smile. Oh, Yifeng, are you the Yamanaka Yifeng with the knife? Chapter 176 Can your dog smell the whole picture? Chiyo frowned. She finally looked at Yifeng directly. The Yamanaka Yefeng who defied all opinions and prevented Shimura Danzo from succeeding Hokage. That's right, if someone pretends to be me, remember to tell me and I'll cut him. Yifeng said casually. The ninjas who use knives are all equally annoying. Chiyo snorted coldly. Yefeng-kun, don't take offense, my sister's son and daughter-in-law were killed by Konoha White Fang. So she's definitely not targeting you. She hates all knife ninjas. Ebizo stepped forward and explained with a smile. But Maki felt that the atmosphere seemed even more awkward. Mother-in-law, let Yefeng detoxify Kankuro first. Maki sighed. Maki felt like if they were allowed to continue talking like this, might be fighting. Oh, you also know how to detoxify? Ebizo asked Yifeng curiously. Ebizo knew that Yifeng was a swordsman ninja. But is he also a medical ninja? Well, detoxification, it's very simple. Yifeng walked up to Kankuro indifferently. He ignored Chiyo's rejection of him. To be honest, for elderly people who have experienced war to be hostile to Konoha village. After all, the family's sons and daughters-in-law all died at the hands of Konoha village. If they didn't die, Sasori wouldn't be a complete boy either. Nothing will happen now. Inject this medicine into Kankuro. This is the ancestral prescription of my Yamanaka family. It treats various incurable diseases. It's called Luwei Dewangye. It's very useful, Yifeng said with his mouth full of trains. Huh, boy, you didn't even read Kankuro's inspection report, you said you could detoxify him. Chiyo frowned. In Chiyo's view, Yifeng is a very flamboyant teenager. Chiyo had thought he might actually have a unique ability to detoxify. But do you think it can be cured without reading the report? Isn't this too playful? Look at the report. No need, this is an old recipe passed down by our ancestors. It's absolutely effective. No kidding. Yifeng shrugged. System produced. Can detoxify. Just so unreasonable. Ebizo stepped forward and took the Luwei Dewangye from Yifeng's hands. Open it and smell it. The medicine is fragrant and seems to have the effect of strengthening the root and cultivating vitality, but it is not an ordinary thing. Ebizo handed the antidote to Chiyo. Sister, you might as well have a look at it, maybe it is really useful. Chiyo took the medicine bottle. He gave Yifeng a meaningful look. Subsequently, like Ebizo, she opened the bottle and smelled it. Really? It contains a variety of drugs that increase the body's toxin resistance. Wait for me to check, and if there's no problem, I can give Kankuro a try. Chio said slowly. Although Chio still doesn't trust Yifeng. But the situation in Kankuro is very dangerous right now. If you still can't get rid of the poison by tomorrow, he must die. So, at this time, only a dead horse can be used as a living horse doctor. Case Kankuro died after taking Yifeng's medicine. They can also take the opportunity to touch porcelain Konoha. Yifeng-kun, let's go first. We can leave it to Granny Chio to deal with it. Let's discuss how to rescue Lord Casecage. Marky raised his hand in an inviting gesture. Now that the Kankuro matter has been settled. So, next, them to discuss rescuing Gaara. Ebizo, you go with them. Chio glanced at Yifeng. Nowadays, the water in the upper floors of Sunagakure village is very deep. At this time, if the people of Konoha village also come in and mix in and make the water more muddy, Sunagakure will be completely useless. So, Chio asked Ebizo to follow him, in order to keep Yifeng at bay. Okay, let's all come together. Marky said helplessly. You old people. I don't understand the friendship between young people at all. ... Casecage office in Sunagakure village. The Casecage office is very modestly decorated. Simple enough if you don't say this is Casecage's office. Yifeng thought it was Maki's study. Shows that the economy of Sunagakure village is indeed average. You two, please sit down and let me tell you about the enemy's situation in detail. Marky said in an inviting gesture. Although Casecage is gone. But discuss something so important. Marky still invited Yifeng to Casecage's office. After all, Yifeng is the representative of the Konoha reinforcements. I probably already know the details about Gaara, so you don't need to say more. Yifeng waved his hand and said, but I'm very curious, although Deidara's tactics are full of targeting Gaara, why didn't you have any people at the time support him? Yifeng raised the doubts in his heart without concealment. Maki and Ebizo looked at each other. Subsequently, the two sighed together. The incident happened suddenly that day, and the fighting force in the village could not be assembled quickly. And Mr. Gaara himself was a Jinchuriki column force, so he thought he could definitely defeat the enemy at that time. So, the people in the village were more worried that Shukaku would go berserk. That's why this happened. Maki explained the reason to Yifeng with a face of shame. Anyway, at that time, they were indeed careless. Otherwise Gaara wouldn't have been captured. After listening to Marky's explanation, Yifeng looked at him thoughtfully. Gaara can become Casecage, which is indispensable for Maki's contribution. So, Yifeng wouldn't be suspicious of Maki. But others can't tell. Worried that your Casecage will be controlled by Shukaku and run away. I don't trust Gaara. And after that, have you found any clues about Gaara? Yifeng asked. This time he came to help find and save Gaara. So, first he had to know where Gaara was hiding by Akatsuki. I'm ashamed to say that, although there are also intelligence ninjas and perception ninjas in Sunagakure village. But so far, we have not found any clues to Gaara-sama. Marky sighed again. The land of wind is vast and sparsely populated. Due to the lack of funds in Sunagakure village over the years, the number of ninjas has become less and less, and there are even fewer excellent ninjas. So, they do have a hard time finding clues about Gaara. But at this time, Ebizo suddenly remembered something. When we found Kankuro yesterday, his puppet was holding a piece of cloth torn from Sasori's body. Don't you have sensory ninjas who are good at using ninja dogs in your Konoha village? You should be able to find them by smell. Ebizo said slowly. Gave Ebizo a speechless look. Can your dog smell the entire map? ... The important thing is said for the third time. The next plane plans to write Death or Super Seminary. Which one do you like to watch? Chapter 177_Allies also cut. The dog in Konoha village can't smell the whole picture no matter how big the nose is. But, according to Yi Feng's memory, the cave where Akatsuki used his magic dragon to seal the 9 seals is a small country sandwiched between the Kingdom of Fire and the Kingdom of Hefeng, the Kingdom of Sichuan. So, after Kakashi got Sasori's clothes, he was lucky enough to find it. Give me Sasori's cloth and Gaara's clothes, and I will send the psychic beasts to the second echelon who came to support. Yi Feng said. Okay, then I'll go get ready. Marky nodded. But, just when Marky was going out to get something ready, the door to Cage's office was suddenly pushed open. Sunagakur middle-aged ninjas with 3 national characters walked in aggressively. They looked at Yi Feng with sharp eyes. His eyes were full of hostility. Marky, what are your thoughts on the proposal we made this morning? That's right. Now that Cage has been arrested, Sunagakur village can't be without a shadow. We need to elect a candidate for the 6th generation of Cage as soon as possible. Maki, we also know that you have a good relationship with Gaara. But Akatsuki captured Gaara for the sake of the tailed beast in his body. If the human Jinchuriki column loses his strength, the tailed beast will definitely not be saved, and there is no need to spend resources at all. Go to the rescue. After the 3 entered the door, their arrogance was very arrogant. The language is very explicit. At a glance, they knew that they had been upset with Gaara for a long time. Hee, it's really interesting, your Cage was captured, you don't hurry to gather your strength to save him, but want to abolish his Cage position. No wonder Sunagakur village is getting worse. Yi Feng looked sarcastically at the 3 ninjas who entered the door. I was thinking. Sure enough, the water in every village is very deep. Humph. Guys from Konoha village, the choice of Cage is our Sunagakur village's business, why are you an outsider pointing fingers here? That's right. I think your Konoha village is scheming and wants to take this opportunity to suppress us. That's right. We don't need the people in Konoha village to point fingers, the ninjas of Konoha village are going to fuck us up. The 3 middle-aged ninjas with Chinese characters all pointed at Yi Feng's nose. Aggressive. This moment. Maki's face instantly turned ashen. He is about to have a seizure. Yi Feng stood up from the sofa. It seems that your intelligence system is not very powerful. Don't you know that what I hate the most is when people point at me? Yi Feng let out a sneer. Then, swish. The black knife light slid past. 3 fingers fell neatly to the ground. Blood sprayed all over the place. Not to mention you passers-by, even the elders of Konoha village, who had their fingers chopped off because they pointed at me, how dare you make a fool of yourself? Yi Feng looked at them disdainfully. What happened to Union Village? He will cut anyone who dares to jump in front of him. This is the style of the night wind. This moment. Maki and Ebizo were completely shocked. These 3 are not passers-by and passers-by. They are both the great clan chiefs in the village of Sunagakur. Yi Feng actually cut off their fingers like that. Really fun. Bastard. You Konoha village intruder, how dare you openly attack us in Sunagakur village? You are so bold. Konoha village intervened in our Sunagakur village to start a war. We Sunagakur are not afraid of the 4th Ninja War. Maki, the people you invited are really wolf-like ambitions. 3 middle-aged Sunagakur ninjas with Chinese characters and faces picked up the severed fingers together. Sprinkle medicine powder to suppress the wound. Then, they started accusing Maki, Yefeng, and Konoha village. To this, Yi Feng smiled faintly. If these are useless, I advise you not to say more. I just want to tell you one thing. My mission in Sunagakur village this time is to rescue the 5 generations of Cage in Sunagakur village. If anyone hinders me from completing the mission, the enemy of my Yamanaka Night Wind. The principle of Night Wind is simple. Whoever stands in his way, he cuts. Marky, This time I just chopped off one of their fingers as a way to give Tamari some face. After all, she is my brother's woman, but if the people of your village dare to hinder me from saving Gaara, don't blame me for being ruthless. What Yifeng said was very confident. Cut your people down to save your cage anyway. Excuse me, you have nothing to say. At this time, 3 middle-aged ninjas with Chinese characters face Sunagakure finally figured out the situation. It turns out that this kid is Yifeng, the killer of Konoha village. It is said that he can not only cut down the enemy, start a surge. A guy who can cut even his own people. Rest assured Yifeng-kun, Sunagakure village will never give up on saving cage for the 5th generation. Leave the village affairs to me. Maji's face sank. These guys have always been unhappy with Gaara, the cage. Marky is clear. But it's just normal to go out and make trouble. Now that Gaara is caught, they not only slack off, but they even try to give up saving Gaara. Do you really want to blink when Maki kills me? Maki drove the 3 patriarchs out, and decided that he would be more decisive in killing like Yifeng in the future. Even to my own people. Yifeng-kun, please wait for me, I'll go get Sasori and Gaara's clothes now. Maki said. It didn't take long. Maki brought the cloth and Gaara's clothes that Kankuro brought back. Yifeng psyched out a communication frog and let it bring something to Naruto. Then, Yifeng is going to find a quiet place to recover the chakra consumed by using the wings of the wind. After all, he had to deal with the 2 masters in Akatsuki at once this time. It's better to fill up the status. Yifeng was about to leave. At this time, Chiyo is here again. She looked at Yifeng meaningfully, and said slowly, the antidote is fine, I have injected Kankuro into it. Judging from the latest test report, he is out of danger and will recover at most after 2 days of rest. Quote. Oh, I'll just say it cures all diseases. Yifeng smiled indifferently. Chiyo looked at Yifeng for a while, and finally sighed. I didn't expect that Konoha village would actually help us. It seems that the old man's opinion of you is really backward. Actually for Chiyo, the most important thing is not that Yifeng saved Kankuro's life. It was Yifeng who gave her the antidote so generously. And he be afraid of Sunagakure's targeted modified poison to crack their antidote. But obviously, they are not afraid. Is this trust? Is this the bond between shinobi villages in the new era? Of course. If Chiyo's idea was known to Yifeng, he might say, just at your level of drug production. Also want to crack the antidote produced by the system. What a mess. Chapter 178_Magic Dragon 9 Seals End. Early the next morning, Communication Frog returned with the information Kakashi had investigated. Yifeng stopped the training at hand and found Maki and Chiyo in the hospital. Kakashi has already discovered the approximate location of Gaara. I'm going to meet them. I'll leave a signal for you along the way. You can catch up later. Yifeng said. Okay, then there's Lao Yifeng-kun. Maki was suddenly overjoyed. They finally found the clue to cage. Wait a minute, I want to go with me too. Chiyo stopped Yifeng. Gaara is cage of Sunagakure village anyway. The thing about rescuing cage. How is it possible to completely let Konoha shoot the face of Sunagakure village be put? You are all shameless, you can't let it go. Chiyo, I didn't mean to target you. I actually wanted to say that it's impossible for you to keep up with me with the speed of your Sunagakure ninjas, so you should just follow the mark one left. Quote. Nightwind shrugged. Then put your hands together. A pair of wind wings condensed from pure futon, wind-style chakra spread out. The night wind rises. Disappeared in the sight of Chiyo and Maki. Quote. Quote. Chiyo. As expected of the 6th generation Hokage of the future of Konoha village, he has developed such an amazing futon, wind-style ninjutsu, even stronger than our Sunagakure village, which is famous for futon, wind-style. Maki swallowed. He had long heard that the night wind was unusual. But see you today. Only then did Maki really appreciate the power of Yifeng. Konoha Village. This is really a village that makes people envious and jealous. Chiyo sighed. There are some amazing ninjas in Konoha Village in almost every era. They are often able to overwhelm the crowd at a young age. This Sunagakur village really can't compare to. Mother Chiyo, I'm going to assemble the rescue team now. You can stay in the village and sit in town. Maki looked at Chiyo and said. Chiyo is old after all. Maki felt she'd better not bother. If you go out and hang up, it will be bad. Maki, don't think of me as an old man. Chiyo looked into the distance meaningfully and said, I used to be the strongest ninja in Sunagakur village, stronger than Pakura. Grunt. Maki swallowed. Although what Chiyo said was not wrong. But, after all, being a ninja is a very frustrating thing. So, can she really go? Sister, since it is possible to face Sasori in the past this time, do you want to bring that set of puppets with you? Ebizo's eyes are solemn. Obviously. Facing a master like Sasori. Even if Ebizo believes his sister Chiyo should be fine. But he still felt that the mission was dangerous. Well, take them with you. It's time to love my grandson whom I haven't seen for a long time. Granny Chiyo's eyes were firm. The head of Sasori must belong to my old man. The Kingdom of Chuan is located in the southern part of the Kingdom of Rain. Small Guoja caught in the land of Hefeng, the land of fire. After Deidara caught Gaara, he followed a pre-agreed plan. Gaara was brought to the Akatsuki secret base in the country of the river. At this time, in a dark cave, the members of Akatsuki are standing on Geto Mazo, demonic statue of the outer path, each in a hand seal pose. With the power of Geto Mazo, demonic statue of the outer path, they draw a shukaku from Gaara's body. But Akatsuki members here accept Sasori and Deidara or ontology. Everyone else is just a ghost. Hey, when will this ninjutsu end? It's boring to death these 3 days. Hidan sighed helplessly. No murder for 3 days. His side was really thirsty. In Hidan's view, it's impossible to live without killing people like this. And if he doesn't sacrifice Matsuri's life to evil god Sama again, the evil god Sama would probably be unhappy too. Well, 3 days without a bounty is really boring. Kakuzu was obviously impatient. Speaking of which, Kakuzu-senpai, you have made so much money, why haven't you seen our treatment improve? Deidara pouted. He felt as if his clothes hadn't been changed for a long time. Although Deidara is not a person who cares about money. But he always felt that there seemed to be a small problem with the finances within the organization. That's a question you should ask Konan, after all the money goes to her. Kakuzu said. Someone is only interested in making money, not spending money. Please find a woman for money. There have been no internal financial problems. You can rest assured that your efforts are meaningful. Konan said slowly. After all, the 600 billion detonating charms were bought while they were on sale. Absolutely no loss. You can rest assured and make money for me. Everyone keep a good rhythm, and in another half an hour, we can complete the capture of Yue. Heavenly Path Pain interrupted their discussion. For fear that Konan's shopping style problems will be exposed. After all, isn't it the detonator of a warehouse? As long as Konan likes it. Just buy it. Okay, since there's only half an hour left, let's just bear it. Hidan sighed. This ghost seal. It's finally coming to an end. Another 15 minutes passed. Black Zetsu suddenly said, there are enemies approaching us. From the east is the Kakashi team from Konoha village, and from the west is Yamanaka Yekas from Konoha village. Do you want to send someone to stop them? Have you finally been discovered by Konoha? Fortunately, it's only 10 minutes away from the best. Pain glanced meaningfully at Gaara floating in the center and said, Ghost Shark, Itachi, you control me to prepare for you in advance. The elephant turned around and went to stop them. Elephant turning technique. If we only have 30% of our strength, it seems a little too much to stop Yamanaka Yefeng. Kisame Hoshigaki smiled wickedly. Although they are strong. But Yamanaka Yekas with only 30% of your power. Impossible, right? There's no need to stop it completely, as long as you can delay it for a while, Pain said. Is it just delaying time? That shouldn't be a problem. The ghost shark looked at Uchiha Itachi and smiled. Mr. Itachi, my chakra base is relatively large, so leave it to me from Yamanaka Yefeng. Okay, Uchiha Itachi replied indifferently. Okay, the reinforcements from Konoha village will be handed over to the clones of the two of them. Let's all draw one, Pain said. Then, after 3 minutes, Kisame Hoshigaki opened his eyes. Boss, sorry, my avatar has already been given a second by Yamanaka Yefeng. Chapter 179 I have General Kakuzu to kill the first Hokage. This moment. The expression on Kisame Hoshigaki's face was wonderful. The ghost shark knows that the night wind is strong. But he never expected Yifeng to be so strong now. Although Shangzuan's clone only has 30% of his power. But he couldn't even resist Yifeng's casual knife. 3 minutes later. Uchiha Itachi also opened his eyes. Sorry, my sight also failed. The new generation of Konoha village has grown very well. Uchiha Itachi said without any emotion. Uchiha Itachi's original plan was to use demonic illusion to stall the time. After all, his clone has only 30% power and cannot use the abilities of Mangekyo Sharingan. But the other party's lineup this time is very gorgeous. A Hatake Kakashi with Mangekyo Sharingan. Kyubi Ninetails, man who can rub Big Ball Rasengan, Jinchuriki Column Force. Hyuga Hinata who can use the ultimate Hyuga clan's ultimate esoteric double lion fist at a young age. Plus an occasional harassment with knives. Yamanaka Ino, who occasionally sneaks up with the technique of turning around. Uchiha Itachi failed quickly. Absolutely, see how far they are from here. Pain frowned. Obviously. He didn't expect Itachi and Ghost Shark to fail so quickly. Although most of Aikiao Shukaku's power has been absorbed by Geto Mazo, demonic statue of the outer path. But if there is any omission, ultimately it will affect the ultimate power of Geto Mazo, demonic statue of the outer path. Time should come in a hurry, but Sasori and Deidara probably don't have time to move, they are afraid they will have a tough battle next. Ju said. In the end, others are phantoms. As long as the sealing technique of the 9 seals of the magic dragon is completed, they will be removed immediately. But Deidara and Sasori are different. They are likely to be caught in the urn. Oh, these two poor people, it's a pity that you can't have an immortal body like me and the ghost shark, otherwise you don't have to worry about anything at all. Hidan said heartlessly. Che, isn't it the ninjas of Konoha village? I can even catch Kage alive, let alone them. What's more, Big Brother Sasori is also here. You should all know Big Brother Sasori's greatness. The corners of Deidara's mouth rose. With a confident smile. What is Sasori? Kakuzu is the best, right? Even the first Hokage of Konoha village was killed by him. Hidan vowed, I have a General Kakuzu who can kill the first Hokage. Quote. Everyone. At this time. Kakuzu turned to Yuhi and shouted sharply at Hidan, Hidan. What nonsense are you talking about? Who told you that the original Hokage was killed by me? Kakuzu is older though. Thick-skinned. But he can't afford a joke like this. What kind of player was that in the original Hokage? Handed Mokuden, wood style, can almost show their entire organization, right? Can he kill the first generation? Think back then. Thinking of this, Kakuzu sighed silently. Ah, isn't that what you told me? You said that you once assassinated the first Hokage. Although your assassination was unsuccessful at the time, he seems to have died soon after, right? Does his death have nothing to do with you? Hidan asked in confusion. This can't be done. Brother Kakuzu said that he had played against the first Hokage. And he also assassinated the original Hokage. Original Hokage. So how did the original Hokage die? Can't figure it out. Haha, I've heard of this old meme. Kakuzu, Senpai threw a shuriken at the original Hokage from 800 miles away. Isn't that what you're talking about? Deidara laughed. Shut up, Kakuzu said coldly. Who dares to mention this again? Don't blame me for being rude to you. Okay, just kidding, Deidara said with a nonchalant smile. Certainly an old man. No joke at all. Sasori, Deidara, Kona has sent a very strong ninja this time, don't take it lightly. Heavenly Path Pain instructed. The other party can kill Itachi and Ghost Shark's elephant turn clones so quickly. This shows that the opponent's strength is very strong. Although Nagato also knows that Sasori and Deidara are not weak. But I'm still afraid that they will be too floating to send people's heads. Don't worry, you should know the strength of Deidara and I. A hoarse voice came from Sasori's puppet, Fei Liuhu. Neither artistic duo or regular ninjas. The way they attack is very unique. Tactics are also very flexible. So, they are really confident in themselves. No one can take our heads. If there is a chance, try to avoid fighting, we still have a long time ahead. Pain reminded again. The members of Akatsuki are carefully selected by him. Each is a strong individual. It can be said. Without their words. Nagato's next task is difficult to carry out. So, Pain didn't want anything to happen to them. A few minutes passed by in the blink of an eye. The Shukaku Aikiku within Gaara's body has been completely inhaled by Geto Mazo, demonic statue of the outer path. Heavenly Path Pain lifted the spell of the 9 seals of the magic dragon. All the other members disappeared. Deidara and Sasori were left. Senior Sasori, do you want Gaara's body? He is Kazekage, the 5th generation of Sunagakur village. If you take it back and make it into a puppet, it should be very cool. Deidara laughed. Deidara knows that Sasori has made 3 generations of Kazekage a puppet. If he makes 5 generations of Kazekage a puppet, how cool would that be? This guy who relies on tailed beasts to become Kazekage is not worthy of being my puppet. Sasori said in a cold voice. The people of Sunagakur village seem to be full of contempt for the human Jinchuriki column force from the bottom of their hearts. Okay, then there's no way, I'll just take him back and make a Kazekage bomb. Deidara's mouth twitched. Deidara's favorite thing is to explode. He is going to make Gaara into a ninja bomb, and then go directly to bomb Sunagakur village. Village was bombed by my own Kazekage. Thinking of that scene, Deidara felt that there were countless artistic cells all over his body dancing. Then, Deidara summons a large clay bird. Gaara is tied to the bird's back. Then jumped up. Brother Sasori, come up too, I'll take you out with me. Deidara's voice just fell. Boom. An explosion sounded. But, Deidara who made the explosion. But the night wind. Sorry, it's too troublesome to crack your 5 enchantments. I personally prefer this more direct method. The smoke dissipated. Yifeng carried the black knife. Appeared in front of Deidara and Sasori of the red sand. What? You are too unprofessional. You are insulting art. Besides, who is your special code? Chapter 180 _ Show your puppet. Deidara raised her hand to drive away the smoke. He looked at Yifeng with contempt. Use gunpowder to create an explosion. This is too bad. Also when it comes to art, I might really have to slap you. In my eyes, only beautiful girls can be called art. The moment of your explosion and the eternity of puppets, in my opinion, are pure nonsense. Yifeng spread his hands. He suddenly didn't want to discuss art with these two. After all, he felt that he should have nothing to discuss with these 2 single dogs. What miss? Is it interesting for Miss to make a fried duster? I feel bored. Isn't it, Sasori-senpai? Deidara grinned dismissively. In his opinion, Miss Sister has not a cute clay doll. Deidara, you go first. This guy is very interesting. I want to fight him. Sasori said suddenly. Huh, big brother Sasori, aren't you? He can make you so interested. Don't you think that Miss Sister is art? A surprised look appeared on Deidara's face. Sasori's strength is strong. In Deidara's view, the whole of Akatsuki, no one can defeat the Sasori of the Red Sand except the leader Pain. But could his senior Sasori be so interested in this boy? It could only be because of art. His name is Yamanaka Yefeng, and he is the elite Jonin of Konoha village, but that's not what I'm looking for. What I'm looking for is his puppet skills. Sasori of the Red Sand said slowly. Is he Yamanaka Yeka's? Deidara frowned. In the general information of the ninja world, Yifeng is defined as a swordsman ninja. But when did he become a puppet ninja again? And is it art to make a little sister into a puppet? At most, it's just a little more weird action. That's right, let's go, and help me get the rest of the Konoha reinforcements away by the way. After Sasori finished speaking, opened Fei Liuhu directly. Revealed his true body. After all, the master trick Fei Liuhu is useless at all. Hi, big brother Sasori, is this the real you? You look prettier than me. Deidara was shocked. His mind, big brother Sasori was supposed to be a spooky old man. But now, the people are completely broken. Go away. Okay, it's just as rude as ever. Then, Deidara detonated the clay duster he had reserved at the secret exit. Ride the clay bird and flew out. Yifeng didn't stop him. But he had already left a shadow clone outside. Shadow clone will follow Deidara all the way. By the time, can easily cut into the battlefield with Horaishin. Although the information from various countries says that you are a powerful swordsman ninja, you are actually a puppet ninja, right? Sasori of the Red Sand asked. Sasori has many informants. Once, in a little-known town, one of Sasori's informants saw Yeka's fighting with puppets. Judging from the action-reaction of the puppet, Yifeng's puppet technique level should not be low. So, Sasori has always been interested in Yifeng. I'm a ninja, whether it's a sword ninja or a puppet ninja, it's all ninjas. Yifeng said casually. In that case, please show your puppet. Sasori said while looking at Yifeng. Puppet, I'm sorry, I don't like that way of fighting very much, why don't you change your way of death? Yifeng hesitated for a moment. He made a sincere suggestion. Hee, another way to die. Sasori of the Red Sand looked at Yifeng with an indifferent expression. Have to say, the night wind is very arrogant. But it is normal for young people to be a little arrogant. I don't think so. As long as you are willing to fight me with puppets, I can make you a human-shaped puppet as my collection after you die, how about that? Sasori sneered. Yifeng frowned. It seems that this guy Sasori is really crazy about the pursuit of art. He could even say such shameless words. But Yifeng's puppet is also very strong. But Yifeng prefers the feeling of personally slashing people with a knife. Not to mention, Yifeng's puppet is rewarded for sign-in tasks, which is different from the regular puppets in the ninja world. Yifeng was worried that after he took it out, he might be sprayed. But seeing that Sasori was so enthusiastic about his new puppet, Yifeng couldn't bear to let him die with regret. Hey! Nightwing sighed. To be honest, in terms of the realm of puppet technique, I should be considered an old artist. As your senior, it's not impossible for me to satisfy your thirst for knowledge before you die. Done. Yifeng hesitantly took out a seal scroll from the knife bag. After hand seal. Boom. A puff of white smoke dissipated. Yifeng's puppet appeared in front of Sasori. Sasori looked at Yifeng's puppet carefully. He nodded indifferently. Humanoid puppets are the most difficult puppets to control. Yi Feng's ability to use this kind of puppet is enough to show that his puppet technique is online. And this puppet is made of metal, and the upper and lower muscles of the body are very full. The combination of Yuhi gold and gold is also very eye-catching. Full of art. It's a pity it's a metal puppet, and under the magnetic shield of my 3 generations of cage puppets, it will become useless. Sasori of the Red Sand shook his head. The metal, while strong, has obvious flaws. Especially in front of Sasori's magnetic shield. Any metal is useless. No, my puppet's material is neither copper, nor iron, nor steel. I used to be in. It uses special materials made by cutting-edge nanotechnology. Yi Feng shook his head. A dignified Mark 50. If it can be ruined by Jiden magnet style. What earth is Iron Man guarding? Nanomaterials. What is that? Sasori asked, frowning. Don't ask, you won't understand if you ask. After all, you haven't even graduated from elementary school normally. Yi Feng's eyes showed disdain. It's not that he is proud of someone at night. In terms of knowledge level, the 9-year compulsory education he received in his previous life was enough for him to crush all beings in the ninja world. As for why it is 9 years without mentioning the 4 years of college. That's because the focus of 4 years of college is on playing games. Knowledge levels may have also declined. HMPH, I think you're just playing tricks. Since you insist on using the Iron Man to fight against me, don't blame me for bullying you. Sasori of the Red Sand snorted coldly. 3 generations of cage puppets were summoned. Then, he began to control the 3 generations of cage to perform various magnetic shield ninjutsu. ... It seems that everyone still prefers the Super Seminary a little more in fact, I also prefer the Super Seminary after all, there are many girls . In addition, the story of Hokage is still early. I'm just planning ahead.